And what is up? Welcome back. It is Friday night, and you're here with the Average Boys Podcast. It's your boy Crispy, and I am here with my boy Brian D from Philly. What is up? Oh, from Philly, Jersey. Well, I mean, technically, right?
It's the East Coast. I mean, at least you were close. Like you
Yeah.
weren't that far off, bro.
Hey, you want to know what it
man.
was?
What was it?
What didn't I message you the other day that I went to go finally eat like a Philly cheesesteak? Remember I told you?
Yeah, I think it was
Went
Jersey
to
Mike's. So that still doesn't
Jersey
even make any
Mike's.
sense. Yeah.
Dude, I had never had a Philly cheesesteak before in my life. And
I don't think you can technically call Jersey Mike's a cheesesteak.
Really?
Like that's not a real fucking Philly cheesesteak.
It was
bro.
delicious, dude.
It's like a mock. It's like a mock Philly cheesesteak. Like
Dude,
I know
the
you
only
guys
thing I've ever
are
had-
super excited about the Jersey Mike's and shit, but that's not.
The only thing I've ever had that's close to that is the one from fucking Subway. So yeah, you can't even get that shit. No way, not even, man. Philly, that's gross, dude.
Oh, you guys are. David is riding, and what, Rob? You guys are riding with that. Oh my god! Listen, you guys need to come over to the East Coast, and we need to go to Philly and actually get a Philly cheesesteak, bro. Like,
True.
there's nothing better than an authentic cheesesteak. You can go. I mean, you can go to the main popular ones like Geno's or Pat's or something like that.
Yeah.
And it'll be game changing. Promise.
What's up to everybody in the comment section, guys? Thank you for tuning in with us. We appreciate every one of you, and we hope you had a great week. Brian, what's your week been like?
Yo, honestly, it's been good. Like, I got back in the gym. I've been fucking feeling great. I'm finally getting into this room and putting paint and getting my room together. Like, so again, just divert your eyes from the back. But anyway, yeah, man, dude, I can't complain. How about you?
Good. I ended up getting sick last week, so we got that cold weather I think I told you about, and I ended up getting a pretty bad cold. I thought it was allergies, but ended up getting that good old Mexican penicillin amoxicilliana, which is some pill that we get in Mexico. My parents gave me some and took a heavy dose and knocked it out pretty good. Couple days out, but decided to stay home and just cough it up, and had a lot of phlegm, dude. A lot of coughing and a lot of phlegm. But I feel way better now. I feel good. Couldn't wait to get on the podcast, at least get to talk to you guys about some crazy shit that's been going on this week. Of course, we had the release and early screening for Ant-Man and Quantumania. Squeak. What I even say, man? I don't even know what I'm talking about anymore.
That's great.
Of course, we had the early release and early screening of Ant-Man and the Quantumania, and we had some mixed reviews, which is something that we're going to talk about. You know, I wasn't excited this time around to hear if there was early reviews, if they were positive or negative. You know what I was actually excited about?
How come?
I was more excited to hear if the leaks were true or not. There was something about it that we heard so many leaks and so many things for so long that I was just hoping that one of them would at least be true. And apparently a lot of the leaks that we'd been talking about, most of them are kind of true. And some of the post-credit scenes that we've talked about are coming true, which is something that we do want to talk about because we do have something that we want to discuss about the future of course, Marvel with one of the future families that's going to be coming up. And that'll be a discussion we're going to be talking about also.
Oh,
Then
shit.
we got
Rob is right. Hold up. I'm sorry to cut you off. I forgot. Like, so today is actually the day that The Last of Us comes out because of the Super Bowl Sunday.
True. We're going to be talking about the last episode, and I haven't seen the new episode, but apparently the new episode's coming out tonight, or is it out already?
Apparently, it's out. That's what Rob's saying in the chat.
Interesting, man. That's right. Because what do we got? We got the Super Bowl this weekend.
That's right. Yo, you gonna watch? Are you a fan of? You're not a fan of football, though, right? You're
not really. I don't even know who's playing. Who's up?
Are you gonna watch? It's the Eagles. Speaking of Philly, it's gonna be the Eagles in Kansas City. So it should be pretty good.
Cool. That doesn't sound too bad. I mean, more than likely, if I have like a get together, if someone's gonna watch it, you know, you can't go wrong with someone partying and getting all the food together. I think.
Yo, do you know like the rules of football? At least like if you were to watch a game, would you be able to follow it?
Oh, yeah, of course, man. I mean, I know the game of football.
Okay, that's cool.
I'm just not really a big.
At least you got that. That's fine.
I understand football way more than I understand soccer or hockey.
Really?
And I know you just went to a hockey game. I saw that on your social media. How did that go?
It's great. I always love going to Devils games. I went to the game yesterday actually, and they were playing the Kraken from Seattle. So yeah, and they won. So it was a great time.
Nice, dude. Very, very cool. Very cool.
You ever been to
Huh?
have you been to a hockey game before?
Yeah, we used to have this group down here called the Killer Bees, and
Okay.
they were a local team. It was like semi-pro.
Okay.
They used to bring a bunch of stuff down here. One of the I think it was the Hidalgo Arena. They used to turn it into an ice hockey ring. So they had all that whole setup, and we used to go check them out sometimes. They used to, of course, give out free tickets and trying to, get people to go to like all the local sporting events. You know how it goes.
Yeah, yeah.
It was pretty cool. It was very nice, and they're always really, since they were trying to promote it and get people to come out more. Every time they would do like a halftime performance, it was always some type of cool like sponsor giveaway. So I remember I went with a friend of mine one time, and two of my friends, and they were talking about, okay, we're going to do a challenge. Who wants to give it a try? And my friend went and did a try, and he won. He won like a badass cell phone.
Mhm.
He had to run from one side of the arena to the other barefoot. They made him go and run on the ice barefoot. And
Okay.
I thought that was nuts, but that was fucking badass either way. So yeah, we used to have a couple of ice shows. I don't even think, do we still do that? I don't even know.
What?
I think it kind of died out. I know the RGV Vipers, that's the semi-pro basketball team.
Yeah,
So
I'm aware of the Vipers out there. I
Yeah.
think D was doing like a little content with them, so I'm aware of them. But that's cool if you guys have like a local team. I don't really watch any local teams here. Like if I go to a game, it's gonna be like a professional game. Those things are fun as fuck.
And then the other semi-pro team that they have is the RGV Toros, which is the soccer team. They have a really nice stadium here in Edinburgh, right off the expressway. A really nice place, huge at this place called HEB Stadium, HEB Park. It's pretty nice. But yeah, like I said, going back to what we were talking about, the Super Bowl, if I end up going, like, I'm really not going for any of the teams. It's probably just going to be just for the camaraderie and being with family and friends or whatnot. I can't wait. Like I said, more than likely it's going to be the tailgating food that I'm more excited for and the barbecue.
I mean, that's all it's about anyway.
That's how I was going to say.
Very rarely is anyone's team actually playing in the Super Bowl. Like you go for like to eat and get fucking fat and watch commercials.
But what about you though?
shows.
I know that you're more into the sports scene when it comes to football and stuff. What are you excited for the Super Bowl this year?
I'm not. My team's not playing.
You're like, not at all, dude.
My team's rival is actually playing in the Super Bowl. So I mean, if they lose,
Shit.
that's pretty cool. But other than that, I don't give a fuck about this game.
I mean, the only other thing that we could say is Robert's talking about in the comments right now is the trailers, man. The trailers and the commercials that'll be coming out during the Super Bowl are probably the best things. We all know that, people put the cash down to be able to come out in those things. It's on the upwards of $500,000 to $1 million to be on those.
So wait, the Flash is gonna play during
Super Bowl.
The Super Bowl, right? Was there anything else?
I
think Indiana Jones, maybe.
I think
you know what? Indiana Jones is gonna have one.
I heard that we were supposed to get a trailer for that for the Thunderbolts.
Really? I think I did.
Yeah, I heard it was going to be something that was Marvel based. So I know it's going to be that either like Loki or Thunderbolts. I wouldn't doubt a Loki season 2 trailer.
Yeah.
And the reason why I say that is because of the apparent post-credit scenes for Quantumania. It looks like it's supposed to lead into like the Loki story again.
All right, so like it's looking like the Flash. Oh, you know what I also heard? I heard the Flash. I heard the Little Mermaid. Now I'm reading it now because the Little Mermaid's not up here, but Fast 10. So that's supposed to be having a trailer. Transformers, yeah, and then I think another Ant-Man one, I guess.
Oh yeah, I guess. I mean, I see it as a waste if they do Ant-Man if it's already going to be out.
Yeah.
I think they need to show like the upcoming stuff. I think that's more exciting when it comes to the Super Bowl with trailers and stuff like that. I know that Robert or someone put in the comment section that the Cocaine Bear might be there, might make an appearance at the Super Bowl.
Yo, are you gonna watch this? Are you gonna watch that movie or not?
I'm totally gonna watch Cocaine Bear. Like right, I'm more excited about that than any Marvel movie. One.
Yeah,
it's that's a no-brainer. That just looks fun, ridiculously fun. But
I'm gonna judge you if you don't watch this movie as soon as it comes out.
Yeah, I'm gonna judge everybody that doesn't watch it. It's just a good. I think when it comes to theater stuff, we kind of need that escape.
It's gonna be the
Like
worst movie ever, but I'm gonna enjoy it.
no, not even, dude. I've seen some pretty bad movies, and I know Cocaine
I
Bear is
listen.
not.
I don't listen. Don't get me wrong. I don't mind a bad movie at all.
I think this is gonna be like an instant cult classic. Like, even though, if I'm not mistaken, we've heard that Cocaine Bear is kind of roughly based on a real life situation, minus the comedy,
Yo,
I'm guessing.
did you know that the bear only weighed like the bear in real life? It wasn't like a really big bear. It was like a smaller bear for like
So it was like
he weighed
a youngling.
it was like 175 pounds or some shit like that.
Oh shit! It was like a
Do you
baby.
think you could? Do you think you could beat a bear 175 pounds on cocaine?
Nah, dude, not even.
You don't think so? Okay.
Nah, dude, not even. I don't think so. I think I might be able to get away from it, but beat it? Nah, probably not.
Really?
That's 100. That's a baby bear.
But I don't know. That just doesn't sound as scary as like a full-grown grizzly fucking bear on cocaine. That's what I had imagined.
Because it's one of those things like it's manageable. Because you're like, that's 175.
I think I might have a shot. I don't think I'll win, but I think I can get away alive. Maybe.
Yeah, I was gonna say escaping. Hopefully. Probably. What's up, Vince? Happy belated birthday, my dude.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But yeah, I didn't know. I know it. Like I said, I heard that it was casually based on a real life situation, and it looks like one of those movies that we'll end up getting like a part, like Sharknado, dude. We'll get like part 3 sooner or later, where Cocaine Bear like survives and goes into like a theme park of Winnie the Pooh or some shit. Like it's just, it looks like a Sharknado kind of shit. That's what it's gonna end up being like.
Definitely needs to be a one and done. I don't need fucking Cocaine Bear too. I'm good, yo.
You don't need, dude. As
a matter of fact, listen. You're gonna get the 1725 or 1895, however much the ticket is, and that's all you're getting out of me. Like, you're not. Let's not go overboard now. All right, let's.
Dude, and that's because like you said it earlier about us getting a trailer for the new Fast and the Furious 10 movie.
Yeah.
So Jason Momoa is supposed to end up being in that movie, and I didn't even know he was in that film. So, I mean,
who's in that movie?
Jason Momoa is going to be the villain in
yeah.
Fast and Furious 10. And Vin Diesel in an interview recently said his dream actor for the next film that he wants to get, or any of the films if he can, is Robert Downey Jr.
Dude, I'm gonna tell you like this. I think I'm done with the Fast and Furious franchise, dude. Like,
Yo,
the last one
since 3, dude.
The last one was a little bit much for me. These motherfuckers were in space in a car and we're surviving. So I don't know. Like, listen, I watch wrestling, so I'm totally fine with suspending my belief for some things, but that was a little bit too much. Like, these motherfuckers are superheroes now.
Like, I like the over the edge shit, but like, when do you let it stop? Like,
yo, I don't know, dude.
You know what I'm really waiting for? I'm really waiting for Vin Diesel to be like, it's a multiverse, and then he brings in like his Pitch Black self and what is it? Chronicles of Riddick. Like, and he starts crossing them over into the Fast and the Furious franchise. That's what I'm kind of waiting for. But yeah, he mentioned in an interview that Robert Downey Jr. is one of the actors he wants to make sure he gets before he ends the franchise. And he's on fucking film number 10. So if he's looking to get Robert Downey Jr., I don't think that shit's coming to an end anytime soon. Like, me personally, I don't think he's even trying to end it anytime soon. I'm guessing he's going to go to like 12 and maybe try to call it.
Chris.
They were
in orbit. Like, they were in our orbit. Just
like, what do you do next?
Around. Right? Where else? What else is there, bro? There's nothing else.
You're not gonna do anything fun on Earth anymore, dude.
They're gonna be on Mars. The next one is gonna be on fucking Mars, and they're gonna just have a full blown.
They're gonna do a race on the moon.
A full blown drag race on Mars.
Can you imagine if the next one dealt with them having to like race a rocket, dude? And they needed to get Elon Musk involved.
Let me tell you something. I saw the last movie. I kind of ruined it for the person that I went with because it was so fucking ridiculous. I was on a date to watch that movie, and I think like I talked myself out of getting laid for how much I just bashed that fucking movie to this person.
And the person was just so mad. Did she get mad or no?
she was just annoyed that I'm like, because I just couldn't understand it. So I'm sitting there in the movies. I'm like, yo, what the fuck am I watching? And she just didn't, she didn't really give a fuck. But it started to annoy her because every time something that was ridiculous, I was like, yo, what am I watching? And I guess she got pissed off, but whatever.
I do remember the space part in that film, and I never got to see any of them. Like I'm the last movie I can remember sitting down and watching that was a Fast and the Fury movie was the one with Gal Gadot when she dies. No, I remember that one, and that one was silly because at that time in the Fast and the Furious history, that movie was removed. Like that movie was like the only thing that connected Tokyo Drift to the Vin Diesel franchise. Yeah, well, not only that, was Han the character by himself, because he's the one that someone knew or mentioned by name. And you were like, oh shit, that's that dude from Tokyo Drift. So that's how you kind of like relate. Or I think Vin Diesel comes out at the ending of the movie saying that the kid's like, that he was a friend of Han's and he wants to race against the kid. So like, I kind of felt like a Vin Diesel at the time was doing this like Need for Speed kind of like idea, that he was creating these like small factions of drift kings, and they race against each other like throughout the world. Almost like those video games back in the stupid, like, what is it? I can't even remember off the top of my head, but the only thing I can remember is Need for Speed.
Okay, yeah.
You have all these weird like racing gangs all over the world, and then they meet like every year somewhere and they race against each other. But then all of a sudden it made like a complete switch over to espionage. Like it started doing it to where like the FBI needed to go get Vin Diesel because they needed a really fast race car driver to get him somewhere. And then they brought in Jason Statham, but Jason Statham was brought in because he was the fucking guy that did the Transporter. Yeah. Like in the entire movie, the Transporter is just literally about a fucking racer. So like, of course you're going to want to bring a character in like that because it's like Hitman versus John Wick or whatever the fuck, right?
Yeah, I get that's the premise, but the Transporter was fucking dope, bro. It was dope.
But did you like him or no? I love the Transporter. I thought Jason Statham was badass, dude.
All of them. Like I used to just binge them all like, in a row.
But that's the thing. Like I think Vin Diesel saw those films and was like, yo, if we do a driving film, like it would be so badass to do a crossover with these characters. And they fucking got the guy. They got Jason Statham to come in and do that fucking part of the movie. And they kind of intertwined him, of course, with some weird shit. But it ended up not being about driving. It ended up being about, like I said, the FBI and fucking Charlize Theron was in it. Like fucking, hunting down The Rock or I don't know. It's a bunch of crazy shit. And now it's in this situation, like you said, like now they're in fucking space. Like, how do you bring
so are you going so all right, so are you anticipating this movie? Like we're gonna get a trailer during the Super Bowl. Do you want to see this movie? Are you going to see this movie in the theaters?
Okay, so Jason Momoa isn't a bad actor, and I like the shit that he does because he's himself and he's funny.
Does he actually make you want to see this movie any more than you already were going to want to see this movie?
Well, the idea is apparently from some release or some leak, Jason Momoa is part of Dom's or Vin Diesel's family. So like apparently the story's being pulled back and they're going into like Dom's story, or I don't know what I can't even tell you, but I don't know if Jason Momoa being in the films is good or bad because Aquaman's being shut down. So Jason Momoa is like, shit, I need a job. And now he's going over the Fast and Furious franchise. And not only that, Gal Gadot is also making her return back to the Fast and Furious franchise. That's because she fucking died in the film. Like, I don't know if you remember what happened to her character.
I remember.
She like fell out of a fucking moving airplane at like takeoff speed. And yeah, she's apparently coming out in the next film. But you know what? I have to say that the one thing that took me out of the Fast and Furious franchise the most was Michelle Rodriguez coming back in like episode like 8 or 9, and her being like, "Yeah, I faked
Yeah.
my death like 13 times or whatever." I got so tired of them like just bringing characters back that they killed off, because they were just written back in such crazy ways.
I'm looking now at some of the writers for some of these movies, so they have to be tired, bro. Like,
Yeah,
you have to. How do you come up with some of this shit? Like, you're running out of ideas and things to do.
ideas. And that's what I think it is. I think Vin Diesel himself is like, he's just trying to hold on to it. You know what I mean? But that's like a broken-legged horse. Like, he just needs to put a bullet in it and leave it alone. It's become more of a meme than it is a franchise. Like, that's what I've seen it, and yeah, I'm not excited at all. I don't understand why Jason Momoa even jumped on this project, but I think it was very
It's money. Well, I mean, why else?
Yeah, money talks, man.
Listen. No matter how much we're gonna bash the fucking franchise, these motherfuckers make money. Like, there's no getting around that.
Yo, but let me throw this out there just to say it. Do you think Fast and the Furious is is just a more successful version of the Expendables series? And that's what it is now? Where it's that kind of weird 1980s, 90s action film.
I think I don't know if it's expendable like the Expendables, but I think when it originally came out, it was a good time for that. It was a really good time in the culture, in society, and people are gonna just hang on to that. And the nostalgia of what it used to be is what keeps people around. So I guess they're just riding off the coattails of that, which I don't actually blame them for whatsoever. So
yeah,
I don't know, but I really don't need to see this movie. I may see it, I may not. I don't know, but I know Jason Momoa doesn't make me want to see it anymore.
He just wants to get paid.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. That's all it's about, and that's cool.
Yeah, it's just him having a job.
Get your money, cuz.
Yeah, but so what trailer are you excited for if they do pop them off?
The Transformers one, I'm intrigued. I want to see what that looks like. I think they may get me back as a fan.
True.
I'm really, you know what? I'm interested for the Little Mermaid, but not so much for the trailer, but the reactions. I can't wait to.
Oh, you just want to see everybody being salty and shit?
I just need content. Like, we should be able to come in here next week with some content about that.
Yeah, most def.
That's what I'm hoping.
I mean, we could probably even see some of the trailers if we do.
That would be ideal. What about you? Are there any trailers that you're looking forward to, sir?
I guess anything that Marvel pops off. If they drop a Loki trailer, that would be really cool.
That would be dope.
What I would really, really be excited for if they do, I mean, of course, Thunderbolts is probably the next one that's on the list of films that's going to be coming out. But I am really hyped for the New World Order movie because I'm excited. I liked what they did, of course, with Winter Soldier. So I'm kind of hoping that they're still in the same, like, hey, guys, we're sticking to the espionage style films. You know, we're bringing in another Captain America. Let's get it done. New World Order. We're making Cap evil. You know, Sam has to kind of take on an old school Chris Evans. It's going to be great. Like, I want it to be like, if they can pull off a Winter Soldier variation of a new Captain America movie right now, Marvel gets saved again. Like, I think that's 100% what it needs. Like, I miss a grounded film from Marvel. And Black Widow didn't do it for me.
But see, that's my only reservation is that, and I didn't want to say it because, which would have made me hard to respond to what you said. But I've been hearing about like what the rumors have been about what that movie is supposed to be about or what they're writing it to be, and it just seems like it's going to be all over the place. There seems to be a lot of shit going on in that movie, so I'm excited for it, but I would just have to see it for myself before.
Like, it has a lot of moving parts and stuff, or what?
Yeah, and it's just going to introduce a lot. Like, I think, you know, things from She-Hulk and is going to overlap into that movie, and it's going to be based around certain. It's not going to be based around just Captain America, Sam. It's going to be around a lot of people. So we'll see.
Okay. Well, I mean, I think I think right now what Marvel needs to do is they need to remember that they recently just introduced Sam Wilson as the new Captain America, and they do have to build that character. And for them to do it in a TV show or a Disney Plus series, I know people watched it, but when they put it in film, if they don't build it in film, like it's not going to hit the same way. You know, it was.
I don't know. You know what? I'll argue that because they put Spider-Man in fucking whatchamacallit, in Civil War. No backstory, no nothing. You just boom, here you go, Spider-Man. Take that. And just
but that's the same thing with like look at how a lot of people didn't understand the Darkhold and Wanda, because a lot of people didn't choose to see the series because they thought it was like a throwaway series. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So like, I just feel like, of course, we saw it. I was a big fan of Sam Wilson, the Captain America and Winter Soldier series. I thought it was pretty good. The villain, I think, was a little underrated, a little underutilized.
Everybody hates that show. I didn't realize that in real time, but
a lot of people didn't like it.
A lot of people hate that fucking show, and I don't understand why.
I thought it was really good. But like I said, I think it's one of those things. Like, I think Marvel needs to kind of have a floor or street level TV show, not something that deals in space or something that deals with cosmic gods or on another planet or entities or anything. They need something that's like, I think that's why Black Panther did so well in its series when it came back, because it was so grounded. It had so much emotion. It had so much like real activity that people gravitated to it a lot faster in the Phase 4 series. Mm-hmm. I mean, even Shang-Chi was delightfully good, but that's because when you watched it, it was like your mind can relate to the movements and everything a lot easier, because you're just like, oh shit, kung fu movie. And then you get to see the dude actually doing some really cool shit.
I think we understand what good writing and good execution looks like now. So when we see it, we have to acknowledge it. I think that's what Shang-Chi was.
Yeah. Okay. Good stuff. But yeah, I think for me personally, I'm interested in seeing what they're going to do with that story. But more than likely, I think we'll probably end up getting a Thunderbolt series, which of course is exciting too, with the idea of them playing or hearing some type of rumors with like the Century character, Thunderbolt Ross coming in as the Red Hulk.
See, this is what I'm saying is like they are planning to do some crazy shit, and I've been trying to like not get into it, you know, while I'm here because I don't want to spoil anything. But they're thinking about doing some really wild shit, dude. Like, especially in that Captain America movie. So it's going to be interesting, to say the least.
Well, I mean, it was one of those things that I mean, we all speculated a lot about it a while back, but there was talks of MODOK being in it, and they hadn't introduced him yet. And then all of a sudden, a couple months ago, they released, hey guys, MODOK's in Ant-Man and Quantumania. And recently in a comic book, literally like 2 or 3 weeks ago, they just backdoored MODOK into a story that a lot of people think they're going to do the same thing for the New World Order film. So like, then you have a way to have MODOK out of the Quantumania and then into this new film, get used in the series. And then for me, again, I will always find a way to do this, but you know, MODOK comes to the real world out of the quantum realms. He ends up picking up and fixing AIM, the organization that's almost going to be like the new version of S.H.I.E.L.D. And in the process, during the incursions, reaches into another multiverse during the incursions and pulls Hyperion out. Literally comic book worthy, dude, because that's how it happened. And he ended up pulling him into the series, which gives us even closer to that idea of getting that Thor Hyperion Beyonders fight, the bromance between both of them later on, or that multiversal Avengers team that dealt with Thor and Hyperion and Exhelion and all those guys in space. Remember? You're
gonna find some way to hate though, because you don't like my guy Thor right now. So I'm
no, dude, Thor's good in the comics though. Thor's good in the comics. I mean, yeah, like I wasn't a big fan of Thor 4, but I do think that they need to do, like, if they do another film based on a Thor character, like it needs to be done correctly, like just through and through. If they kill him off and you keep Jane Foster, fine. If you don't do it that way, you got to do him some justice, man, because Chris Hemsworth is not feeling it. Like, he's not feeling that, and his character kind of needs to be developed. He needs to be developed into a serious role because you have so much potential to bring in that like badass, like the Fortnite Galactus, Herald of Galactus Thor. Mm-hmm. Like you can't even get close to that with the writing right now, and that's where it needs to be closer to, where it's doing that serious role. So I tried I think I was telling you this past weekend, I tried to rewatch Thor 4 and I ended up falling asleep. It was not good. It was hard. But
so not only did you say it one time today, you said it twice today.
I said it. I'm gonna say it 14 times today. I'm gonna try my best. And that's because I went back and I totally forgot that.
Yo, you're just a hater, yo. I just realized that, yo. You're just a hater, bro.
You know what I realized today was real wild? Like Taika Waititi's like got nuts, dude. Like he's fucking got balls on him, dude. This guy wrote the entire script of the fucking thing on that fucking Shrooms. No, right at the beginning of the movie when Thor goes back to Asgard and what's that character? Meek is writing on the blackboard, and Thor looks at him and goes, "Hey, can you quit writing or whatever?" And turns around, the entire script is written on the whiteboard. I totally forgot about that, and I knew I saw that when the movie came out, and that meta type of Easter egg and storytelling was wild to me, dude. I couldn't believe he put that because I wanted to see. Then that put me in a really crazy predicament because they make it to like the negative zone and they get on that little planet, and I was looking around at all the drawings in Gore's like hut to see if maybe Taika Waititi put out like Phase 4, like the fucking layout of Phase 4 in the background, like what was going to happen in Shang-Chi and what was going to happen in Wakanda. And what if he just fucking put that shit all over the place just to fuck around?
Yo, if they gave Taika Waititi the fucking blueprint to fucking all of Phase 4,
he'd fucking tell everybody.
It would have been all over the fucking place.
All over the fucking movie. Mike, what's up, man? Michael Betancourt in the comment section. What is up, my dude? He says the universe told me Thor was being discussed and thus I was summoned. Welcome to the show, my man. Welcome to the show. But yeah, I tried my best to watch it and I didn't do so hot. But
all right, bro, we can go on to something else. You don't have to keep bashing my movie, man.
But I'm going to segue. I'm segueing.
Okay, my fault.
But I did get to rewatch Wakanda Forever.
Same. Yes.
And it was delightful the second time. It was a little bit more delightful. I could really appreciate some stuff. There was some stuff that I kind of thought was a little cheesy, but
I appreciated the first time I watched it. Like for me, it was apparent that the second time it didn't hit as much as the first one. The first time watching that movie was crazy. But I enjoyed it. I did.
Yeah, I enjoyed it a second time. I really did. But for me, it was one of those things like I remember us talking about this a while back and knowing that they kept Letitia as the Black Panther at the end of the film. I was really like, holy shit, they kept her. Like, I remember there was a big fucking like fallout with these people. Like they wanted to get rid of her.
I don't think they wanted to get rid of her. I just think that she was difficult to work with.
Yeah, she's being real difficult.
Yeah.
But not difficult enough for them to be like, yo, let's replace her or let's kill her off and bring in someone else.
She was black. You can't replace her. You can't, like, that's Black Panther.
You can't really do anything with her character like that. But I was very surprised that we ended up staying with her and they didn't find some type of way to like I said, replace her. There was a part of me that thought they would have let her go. That they would have been like, you know, we'll write her out or we'll do something or we'll write in another character as a Black Panther and give her less time. Not necessarily like kill her off or do, because we can't say they won't kill her off and then they fucking take out Angela Bassett like fucking halfway through the movie. Like if they take out Angela Bassett, which is like an award-winning actress, they'll shoot Letitia right into space, dude. Like they don't give a shit. But they ended up keeping her. Like, you know, they ended up pushing her forward and she did an amazing job. What's going on in the Traffic in African? Welcome back, dude. What's going on, my guy?
The Rotten Tomatoes are higher than I remember because I don't remember it being this good, but it's got an 84% from like the I guess critics, and then like a 94% audience score. So a lot of people like this.
Really?
Movie.
Oh shit!
I didn't realize that. Yeah.
Trafficking. We are talking about right now at the moment. We're talking about rewatching Wakanda Forever. It just debuted on Disney Plus. It was pretty good. Watching it a second time, not as bad. I kind of got the opportunity to really rewatch. Getting used to, of course, Namor. The first time I watched it, I thought he was pretty good. Watching it a second time, I liked him, but I kind of feel at the end he really wussed out for some reason. They kind of wrote his character out when he was all like, "Yes, it'll be amazing." And
the
stuff.
Last 30 minutes of this movie was weird to me.
Watching it a second time, you're kind of like, because, like, fuck, dude. Like, I never realized that there was only like 8 Wakandans left on the top of that boat. Everyone else,
they were getting their ass kicked. I think that was my problem. Honestly, that was my problem with that movie. Like, now thinking, like, watching it twice, they just got tanked the entire movie.
Yeah, like, I was gonna say I didn't realize that shit.
They were getting tanked. So how am I supposed to believe that Wakanda is like this big bad nation and they just get tanked like this in a matter of like 2 hours? It was crazy.
Yeah. And they don't explain the idea of like that girl gets shot when they're in the water and Nakia goes to save Shuri and Riri Williams, shoots her with some kind of like, I don't know, plot armor gun, and then kills this kid. But then, Okoye stabs like 14 of these dudes in the chest and they just stand up and start fighting. And like, do they have like a healing factor?
I'm assuming they do.
That's wild, man. Because I thought they would have just been like, you wound them and that's it. Like, I would have figured someone would have come up with that.
Screw that. Black Panther herself was getting tanked. Like, she puts the suit on and gets still almost dies. Like, that's just crazy.
But I did remember that there is like nanotech and all this stuff. So when she gets stabbed in the stomach and she pulls that shit out, like my brain just automatically was like, oh, okay, nanotech. Fucking Tony Stark once got stabbed in the stomach with his shit by Thanos and he walked it off. So she should be able to walk it off, right?
Mike, I think I'm sorry to cut you off.
No, it's fine.
Chris, but Mike made a comment. He said it was good. It was a good movie. But for me, the greatest example of character development in that movie was M'Baku. That's a very interesting perspective, because me personally, I don't know what kind of development I got from him. I got some personality from him, which I appreciated. But development, I don't know.
He matured a lot.
How so? How would you say?
The part when he's talking to Shuri in the woods and you end up finding out that he made a promise and he has to stick with it, and he's there and he's giving her counsel and he's trying his best and he's willing to step up if she can't do it. And it's not in the sense of him doing it because he just wants to be king like in the other movies. He's doing it because he sees the torment that this character is going through. He sees that that family's given everything. And if Shuri can't do it, he's willing to do it for her, not for him. Before it was always for him. And he was just kind of like, he would throw that around like a joke.
I would definitely, what do you think? M'Baku Disney Plus series like Vince suggests? Would you watch that?
Oh, I'd watch the fuck out of it.
I think it would be cool.
Duke is such a good actor, and his carry of that character is just so amazing.
I would watch that.
Yeah, I'd watch it. It seems fun. It really seems fun. You can't tell me that when all of them were hanging around in the city, him and the rest of them, and they're all talking about, did you hear that, what did he say? That Princess Shuri was saved, and they're like, oh, praise be. And he's like, he was saved by another spy, apparently. And they're like, oh, it looks like she'll be praised with banishment too. And like, they're cracking jokes. I would be like, I watch a whole ass movie about these guys just patrolling the city. Like, I would watch a whole ass movie. They're funny. They're just great, funny dudes.
Yeah.
And, but yeah, like I like that he takes charge and like his character development. Like I understand where you're coming from too. Like that it's almost like he was written as just comedy relief.
Yeah,
Like he was there to break the
I don't know
tension.
what kind of, and I kind of got that from the first movie, so I don't know what kind of
Yeah.
character development I got personally. But listen, everybody takes from takes different things from movies, so I get it.
Yeah, but I really dug the character development for him.
Hmm.
I think, of course, I think everybody will agree that the standout actress was Angela Bassett. I think Angela Bassett's character just through and through was
I think you know what, I'll take that
beautiful.
back. I agree with you. She did a phenomenal job, but I also want to point out that Letitia Wright, I think, did a great job as well.
Well,
I think they both did. I
yeah,
think they
them
both did
together,
well.
every shot that they did together was just phenomenal.
Mhm.
Like the just the whole, even the whole scene of them in the lake when the mom kind of brings her in and she's like, "Well, I'm gonna teach you this ceremony. It's about burning the ceremony clothes and stuff like that." And Letitia's character is just so hurt and just so broken and all this stuff. And Angela Bassett's just playing a mother. Like she's not the queen at that moment. Like they do so well. The writers of this do so well breaking, and the characters, the actresses pull it off so well that there is that separation from royalty to just personal family,
Mhm.
like on the whim, on the split. Another standout character, of course, was Okoye's character. She did an
I was gonna
amazing
say
job.
Okoye. I was gonna say
Oh man,
we
her whole
can't
arc was
honestly,
awesome.
dude. I don't know if we can just pinpoint one person like Angela
Everybody did good.
Bassett.
Everybody did good.
Everyone did a great fucking job, dude. Everyone did a really good job.
Yeah. I think the only character that I would have to not agree with in this, that I think was just written in just to write in, was Riri Williams' character. I kind of feel like she was just a little bit of too extra for the film. And from what I've heard is in the series, this actress has said that all this stuff from the Black Panther Wakanda Forever film is going to be retconned for her Disney Plus series. They're not even going to use any of that. So it's like there was no purpose in even having her in it. But I think the reason why they did it was because they know that they couldn't just pull out this character from nowhere and have her be like the genius person that no one's heard about. They had to put her somewhere where there was going to be another smart person. There is no more Tony Stark. Where do you put her? You have to put her in Wakanda. You have to put her with Shuri, who's the next smartest person. So but her character is just so like easy. Even her, dude. Tell me you didn't feel that suit at the end looked like bad CG. That there were scenes that it looked bad.
I think there was some bad
Yeah.
bad CGI all over the place, to be honest with you. But I didn't mind that
No.
at that spot. Me personally, no.
Yeah, I was kind of like, there was a part where I don't know if it had to be right before Namora jumps on her back, right?
I'm
Like
not
towards,
gonna, I'm not gonna fault them for bad CGI, bro. They just did a whole movie of an underwater fucking civilization. Like that's
Yeah.
completely all CGI. So I mean, I get what you're saying, but I'm not gonna fault them for that. Like they did the majority of what they need to do.
Yeah, I get you. Dude, Michael Betancourt puts, I'm seeing it over the entirety of the films he's in, from thug to potential usurper. What's that? To the guide of mentor for Shiri. Oh yeah. And then he says, just to hear him call Okoye a bald-headed demon again was, yeah, that was super funny.
He would no, don't
Dude,
get me wrong. He was funny. He was funny. Don't get me wrong.
dude,
He was funny in the
on
movie.
ball, man. But when he was serious, he was serious.
I could have used more of that though. The seriousness that you're talking about, that you and Mike are talking about,
Yeah.
I could have just used more of that if you want me to jump on board with that.
And I like that they used him to kind of like to gauge and show the audience how strong Namor was. Like when he kind of pops off and jumps at Namor, and your mind automatically says, "Oh well, M'Baku's a big guy," you know. So
dude.
he got just punched in the chest, dude. Like he got dropped so fast, and then for him to acknowledge it later and him be like, "This guy's as strong. This guy might be as strong as the Hulk." Like he literally puts it out there and he really kind of gauges it for the audience, and it's really, really good.
Again, I don't understand the thought process in having Wakanda just get tanked like that. Not only are you showing me that everybody else is just, they don't stand a chance, but also M'Baku doesn't stand a chance.
Yeah, M'Baku
Shuri with the fucking Black Panther fucking superpowers and shit. She doesn't stand a chance. It's weird, yo. It was a weird decision.
Yeah. Well, it's like you said, the last 30 seconds, it was kind of all over the place. The last fight scene, there was some really good stuff in it, flow wise. But like I said before, that last part with the thruster, like it was just kind of like they needed to end the fight and they didn't know how. And they were like, yo, let's just light him on fire with the thruster, like out of nowhere. Like, I thought that was kind of eh. But other than that, I had a great time just revisiting the film. I had like a moment to try to revisit some of these like past Marvel films. And I've been kind of like, diving in again. And I'm really, really excited to kind of go back and watch them. I did Doctor Strange 2 or 3 like Doctor Strange 2 last week. So to be able to go back and watch these is pretty good. So
how was that age to you? How is Doctor Strange 2 age to you? Did you like, you didn't like that movie, if I remember.
I wasn't too big of a fan. Yeah, I wasn't too big of a fan. It was all right.
How do you feel now?
I mean, it was pretty much the same thing. I mean, it wasn't anything special. I kind of feel like I didn't miss anything the first time, but I thought it was a lot more sillier, the last fight scene with him and the Doctor Strange again, and then how Palmer just automatically knew what to do to keep the demons away. Like she just started grabbing random shit in the place. And
a lot of people like that scene. Surprisingly, I couldn't stand that scene.
Yeah, I know you told. I remember you saying that you didn't dig it. I was trying.
That's when it lost. You lost me. You lost. Yeah, you were. I remember that shit. That's kind of where you lost me. I tried to defend it.
The reason why I tried to defend it is because I thought it had good. I thought it was a good callback to like Mickey Mouse and Fantasia.
I don't want to see that shit.
Yeah, you're like fuck that, fuck that. Yeah,
it
was a little weird. Yeah, going back and watching, I thought it was a little silly. So, but then again, like I said, like going back, seeing it, and then watching the girl that's there when Doctor Strange is like, "Hey, I'm gonna go under and I'm gonna do something that I shouldn't because like it's like diabolical and no one should do this because you can lose your soul. There's gonna be some demons coming after me. You know what to do." And then goes to sleep and doesn't really explain shit to her. Like, she's just a nurse, dude. Like, what the fuck is she supposed to do with flying demons? And she just turns around and grabs some random shit and blows some stuff up. And then Doctor Strange starts freaking out, going cold. And she's like, come back to me, and says some random 1 or 2 words. Like, and then he just fixes his shit. Like, in my mind, I was like, yo, that's it? That's what you're dealing with? Like, that's that? Like, you could have had anybody guard you, man. Like, I don't know. It was a little wonky. The ending was a little wonky, but I did have a good time watching Wakanda Forever again. I thought that was great. Thor: Love and Thunder, I didn't get through, but I'm going to rewatch it again because I want to rewatch it all the way to the end. You know what part I got to?
We don't have to stay here. You know that, right?
I got up to the part where...
Now you're going to tell me the exact moment when you knew it sucked. Go ahead.
Yeah, because I was trying. I'm telling you, I was really trying to watch it. Right up to the scene where they're on the planet. They're on the little planet, and him and Gore are about to throw down. Oh, he steals the hammer from him. Like, I got up to that part, and I just started crashing out. And yeah, that really needs a lot of work. But yeah, actually, what's really, really cool about Wakanda Forever and all that stuff is, did you hear that Wakanda Forever actually just got the most watched Marvel premiere on Disney Plus?
I did. I think that's why it was fitting that we were talking about it today, because that's awesome.
And that's really, really cool that that it got that, because of course I think you and I both talked about it being probably the best thing coming out of Phase 4.
No, but I didn't say that. I don't believe that.
No,
the best thing to come out of Phase 4 for me personally was Shang-Chi. And I think I said that when we talked about it. But this is a close second, though.
Yeah, for me, I think Wakanda Forever was probably the best thing coming out of Phase 4. That's in my personal opinion. But
I can definitely understand that.
But we do have to acknowledge the fact that Disney's having a lot of problems right now. Disney's having a hell of a lot of problems right now. So right now, Bob Iger's doing a lot of crazy stuff. He's about to, apparently in an interview recently, he said he's going to be letting go of 7,000 people.
It's a lot of people, Chris.
Yeah, that's a fuckload of people. And this is on the cusp of the company losing since 2022, the beginning, to now 2.4 million viewers on Disney Plus. People have quit Disney Plus, or I guess the Disney program. Why do you think this is happening, and why do you think it's happening on Bob Iger's movement?
I don't think it has anything to do with Bob Iger, because if you think about it, he just got back. So I don't know if you can blame him, so to say. But from what I know, Disney has been in trouble for a while. Like, this whole Disney Plus thing is not lucrative. I don't know if it ever was. So you took a bath on that, and the content's not good. So I don't know, dude. And now you're losing more subscribers. To me, that just spells people losing their job. If a company is cash broke for whatever intents and purposes, they're cash broke. The first thing they're going to do is they're going to start laying people off.
Layoffs.
That's just basic 101 business. And so this isn't surprising.
Now, what's really crazy is I think we just talked about this off a little while ago, but as of this week, Disney itself is up in its stock market. It went up, I think, 10 points. And not only that, Disney itself, the park, has made enough money for it to cover the losses in video streaming and in film. And the company is up 70 cents, where last year at this time it was at 60 cents. So we're talking about a company that, was able to casually break even and come up about 1% off of what itself was, what it's worth, but it's still releasing people. Like, do you
All
think
right,
that's
so then I ask you the same question. Then you ask me, why do I think this is, and now I ask you because you're saying that they're profitable. I'm saying there's no way they're profitable, even with those damn parks. They're not profitable. But go ahead. Why do you think they're laying off 7,000 people then?
Well, I mean, with the numbers that are showing, there's a minimal profit that they've made.
I don't think there's any profit that they've made in the past few years.
Well, I mean, they have to. I mean, there has to be. It says here.
They just fired Bob Chapek. They just fired him because he was doing a shit job. And this is the guy that before he got put in this position was in charge of the parks.
Yeah.
So now he gets a job where he's overseeing everything, and they ended up firing him and bringing fucking Bob Iger back to save it. So it's not been lucrative. I don't know if there's any aspect where they were making money. That doesn't make sense.
So this is coming from an article written February 9th, Time Magazine. And it says, in latest results, solid growth at Disney's theme park helped offset tepid performances in the video streaming and movie business. Disney said Wednesday that it earned $1.28 billion or 70 cents per share in the 3 months through December 31st. That compares to the net income of $1.1 billion or 60% per share at earlier this year. Including one-time items, Disney's earned 99 cents per share. Analysts on average were expecting adjusted earnings of 78% or 78 cents per share, according to FactSet. Revenue grew 8% to $23.51 billion from $21.82 billion a year earlier. Analysts were expecting revenue of $23.44 billion.
Okay, but does that cover all the money that they've lost in the previous years, though?
Through the filming and stuff.
I get what you're saying, but it just seems convenient that everything you just read from that article is a positive. There was nothing negative in that.
Yeah, there's nothing negative about it.
So my alarms automatically are going to go up because you're not being objective. You're giving me nothing but fluff. You're giving me all the positives. But we also know that you're selling shit, or you're thinking about selling things.
Yes, and we just talked about Hulu, right?
Yeah, and not only that, but now you're laying off 7,000 people. So there's a discrepancy there. Again, we did talk about it off mic, but you can't and I don't know if you've actually even read the statement that Bob Iger sent out, but you can't piss on my back and tell me that it's raining, bro. Like, I know what this is. You guys aren't making any money. Yes, you probably salvaged some money from the parks and all that shit, but show me how much you spent in total.
Yeah.
Show me how much you spent over the past 5 years and let me know that you're not in the red.
So Bob Iger released this really interesting statement this past that comes with all the ideas of them firing people and doing, whatever it is that they got coming up. And he says, our new structure is aimed at returning greater authority to our creative leaders and making them accountable for how their content performs financially. Iger said during a call with Wall Street analysts.
I'm going to ask you what that means to you, but I'm just going to go first because it's going to be very short and very sweet. That says to me, we are paying these motherfuckers X amount of dollars to bring in a profit. They're not bringing in a profit, so they have to go.
Yeah, I agree.
That's what that means to me. So just in that statement alone, I don't think they're making any money. I don't think they're not in the red. You don't fire 7,000 people and put out a statement saying, "Oh, basically what he's saying is they're underperforming, so we're getting rid of them."
Yeah, I can see that.
The reason why they're underperforming is because they're not bringing any fucking revenue. Yeah. We asked you to bring revenue for us. We hired you for the job to bring in some type of revenue for us, and you can't get that done. So you got to go.
Yeah, I kind of feel like it's like a cutting the fat kind of thing, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, like a cutting the fat kind of thing. I kind of feel like it's more based on these people, the 7,000 people they're going to cut. The company could probably do without them, and they're not really necessary.
Honestly, if I was Bob Chapek, I would be counting my lucky stars that I left and didn't have to do this. And I wasn't the one standing here having to give some BS excuses to why I'm laying off 7,000 people across my company that I inherited. It's nasty, honestly.
Yeah, Michael Betancourt says the statement and redirect makes sense with the announcement that profit-heavy properties like Toy Story will be getting new movies instead of other features. Yeah, because I said they talked about sequels for Toy Story, and I remember Zootopia, and I can't remember the third movie, but I know it's one of their popular IPs. They're really talking about bringing these kids' films back and pushing them back into the regular creative input. He looks like he wants to take it back to the old school, man. He wants to try to make that old school money, and he wants to keep it flowing. And I mean, if there's one person that's going to do it, Bob Iger's going to do it, man.
You see this a lot in wrestling. When the company isn't making any money, so you go out and get a Goldberg, or you'll go out and get a Sting, or you'll go out and get like a Stone Cold Steve Austin to sort of like jumpstart your revenue or jumpstart the process of getting back, into a good space. It's interesting.
Well, that's like George right now. George in the comment section. Georgie, what's up, Georgie? How you doing, man? Hope the baby's doing good. He says Toy Story 5, though, it feels like they're going to go and revive. They're going to revive it and try to milk the same cow.
They're broke, motherfucker. I'm telling you, bro. They're broke. They got to do something. It's not working. That statement that Bob Iger sent out was straight gangster, bro. Like, he literally just said, bro, you guys aren't getting it done. You guys are all out of here, bro. I'm about to go do? I'm about to fire all you guys before lunch, and then I'm about to go talk to somebody so they can just throw together a fucking Toy Story. We weren't even thinking about making another Toy Story, but you know what? Now, because of you jerk offs, you couldn't make any money. Now I have to go make Toy Story 5 and see if I can dig up Tom Hanks' old ass and see if he can just voice fucking Woody for me again. I didn't want to fucking do this shit, but now you guys are making me do it.
And that's because of the minor success from the Buzz Lightyear movie too.
I forgot about that shit.
Huh?
Was that successful? I don't even know. Did a lot of people watch that movie?
I don't think it was like really successful. I don't think it made the money that they assumed it was going to make. They were projecting, yeah. But a lot of things didn't do it these past couple of years. So, wild shit. Are you gonna look it up right now?
I'm looking it up right now. It's got a 74% from All right, so it's got a 74% from the critics and it's got an 84% from the fans. So I guess people liked it.
Yeah, George says, get that Toy Story money. But then again, they left it ambiguous with them passing the toys on to a younger generation and seeing, I think they have potential to keep doing it, man. If there's one thing I think that Disney needs to jump on is the Kingdom Hearts series.
You keep saying that, but
they need to jump on a Kingdom Hearts series. There's a huge audience for Kingdom Hearts.
Okay. I'm not gonna argue that. I was thinking about it, but there's probably a lot of fans.
Are you familiar with Kingdom Hearts?
I am. When I was like 15 or 16.
Dude, it's literally Final Fantasy mixed with the entire multiverse of the Disney conglomerate. That's super cool, man. And it's its own thing. Final Fantasy a little bit because it's Square Enix, but like the entire story of Kingdom Hearts is actually an interesting story. I dig it. It's a little bit convoluted, but if they clean it up, I think they have potential to make it into something. And that's kind of like one of the only IPs Disney hasn't at least.
I wanna shit on this because I don't know if I know there's a fan base. Don't get me wrong. I'm not part of the fan base. I get it, but I'm gonna just leave it alone because I really don't know how many people like that shit. I know there's a
lot of people that like Kingdom Hearts. To think about it, the last game that came out 3 years ago, I think. Uh-huh. And between that was 10 years. Like it took 10 years for them to get the last sequel, like for them to bring it to an end. And it literally combined the PlayStation games, the PlayStation handheld games, mobile games, and then it still left it open for another game. Yeah. Knowing that they fucking weren't going to have a contract with Square Enix anymore, they still left it open.
Okay.
That's wild, man.
So you play all the games? Are you familiar?
Yeah, I'm really familiar with all of them. Sheesh, I'm extremely familiar with the story.
I didn't realize I was talking to one of the people I was talking about.
No, it's straight. But you know what? Like I said, like the problem with it is at the very end, it all kind of like fell apart. Like you could tell that there was something that was going on with probably the team that they were just like, dude, just finish. I just want to finish writing this. And they kind of wrote a cheesy ending. They wrote like a really cheesy ending. And then the after credit scene went into something that was interesting.
Okay.
But it's just that it's one of those stories that there's a lot of potential for it to really be something really fun. And it's a really great way to make a film kind of with that Wreck-It Ralph crossover kind of vibes. And you be able to do it with every Disney character brought together, including Jack Sparrow, Nightmare Before Christmas, and any of the Disney IPs that they're all going to cross over and you can play with all of them.
Okay.
It's just cool. I think it's very cool, but I think they have opportunities for them to use that as a proper dude. And then going back, of course, we just heard, what was it, like 2 weeks ago, we heard Jared Leto's being asked to come back for Tron or to be brought in for a Tron film.
I didn't hear that.
Yeah. They're going to be looking at Jared Leto to be in Tron, the next film. And Tron, the IP of Tron, like you have so much potential with the growth of the cyberpunk series, like the cyberpunk genre. Mm-hmm. Like, dude, a Tron film right now would probably bank. It would be amazing. It would be super, super cool. And then if you like build the world into, like I said, like the cyberpunk kind of like era, there's just so much potential for Tron to be something that's super big. There's a lot of things, and I think they need to kind of slow down on the super extended sequels. Having a Toy Story 7, Toy Story 8, it's going to be like the Fast and the Furious kind of thing. Like, what else are the toys going to do, like, on today's thing? One thing that I hope that we end up getting is, like, I think it would be cool if we got a story of a toy that just came out and was like, hey, man, we're real. And the fucking news,
kind of like a continuation.
If they okay, hear me out. This is gonna be crazy.
I know. Let's go.
Imagine one toy that no one likes, like I don't know, like the Keanu Reeves one that was like the fucking stunt guy or whatever.
Okay.
Right. Imagine him coming out like Woody and Buzz and the toys are all laying on a couch with the kid and they can't move. And then all of a sudden, news article, the toy is sitting down with fucking Alex Jones saying that toys are real and they actually like he kind of put like just pops off and just tells the real world that toys are coming alive and that they've been alive this whole time.
Okay.
And then it's the toys having to, fight.
Wait, well, why Alex Jones? So I can't.
I don't know. It's because I don't know what else. I don't know who else I could have come up with. But you can't tell me that would be cool. You can put him. I couldn't think of any other news reporter. I just couldn't think of any other reporter. I just couldn't. There was nobody on top of my head.
That would be shot
but
out.
Who would believe someone to say that toys are real, dude? You got to put him on Alex's Jones show. He'd be like, hey, everybody, what's up? I got this fucking real crazy toy and all this shit. Like, he's telling everybody it's real and all this shit. And the fucking toy's just like, hey, man, I'm tired of hiding. I'm tired of hiding. Joe Rogan's got a toy on his fucking show. And everybody's like, man, this guy's stoned out of his fucking mind. That toy's not even real. I was
trying my hardest just to let you go. But
just to let it cook and shit or what?
That was funny, though. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Continue.
But can you imagine if that was like, and then
no, Chris, I cannot imagine any of this happening.
But it's funny, Woody got to go out there and stop this guy from.
It's funny though.
He's got to go out there and stop him from fucking letting everybody know that toys are real, and they got to keep up the facade. And then at the end, it's just everybody lives in harmony and shit.
It sounds lit. I'm not gonna lie.
And then you go to Stripes, and there's a fucking little Woody toy working at the counter because they're trying to live life and shit. I think that would be fucking hilarious. I think that would be a really good turn. It'd be a really weird event because, of course, look, Disney has a lot of IPs that it just needs to like either grow with or continue the story in some way. Toy Story, I think they've already done enough. Like they've already done more than enough. Like Brave, dude. We could totally build on Brave, dude. I would love to see a WALL-E Part 2.
Yeah, but those movies don't fucking make money like Toy Story.
WALL-E's amazing. WALL-E's amazing.
That. But it doesn't make toy. You're not listening. They're broke, Chris. I don't know what you're not understanding about this. They got no money. They can't fuck around and waste money on another dumbass WALL-E movie that no one's gonna watch. No one even watches. No one cares about WALL-E, dude. You got to make a Toy Story movie to make some money. There's zero money. They're tapped out. Bob Iger's. They got to make some cash, dude.
Yeah, I know. But yeah, Disney, Bob Iger doing some crazy shit. I want to see where this is going. We'll have to take a couple bit and see where it goes. What else do we got? Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I
easy
think
news.
Go ahead.
Easy news. We'll just break in some fun shit. Apparently, Patrick Stewart was finally contacted for this role, which is very interesting. But it looks like we will be getting some type of cameo by Professor X in the Deadpool 3 film that's coming up. Do you think it's going to be a big role or a small role?
I don't know. Honestly, I think because I just saw Patrick Stewart in Doctor Strange that the sharpness of that isn't there anymore. Like I saw him, so if I get him again, that's cool. But it was dope seeing him in Doctor Strange. So I don't know. He can come in for a small role. He can come in for a big role. It is what it is at this point.
Guys, how do you feel about Professor X coming back to the Marvel Universe again to reprise the role, or Patrick Stewart reprising the role of Charles Xavier? Let us know in the comment section what you guys think and what you think he's going to be doing. Yo, I'm casually excited, but I want people to let Patrick Stewart get a fucking vacation, man. Like, leave him alone. Don't bring him back just to die again. Like I'm so tired of them bringing him back. I mean, okay, Logan. The death of Charles Xavier was such an interesting take on the character's passing that I was sold. I thought it was great. I thought it was fantastic. I was like, fuck, for him to be in such a horrible situation in life where like the mutant gene has kind of messed him up. He ended up killing the rest of the mutants in the Xavier school or whatever. Only to be later on killed.
Yeah.
Only to be later on killed by a clone of Wolverine, and then dies in Wolverine's hands, almost like a father and son story. It's super beautiful, man. And the way he passes away, it's super sad for his character, but at the same time, it's like eventually it was going to happen.
Yeah.
Only to bring him back in Doctor Strange 2.
And honestly,
And
I
then,
was fine with that. Like I was fine if I never saw Patrick Stewart after that. Bro.
yeah, I mean, it was one of those things. Like his character from the first original X-Men, televisions or movies or whatever, like it was one and done for me. Like I was good. But then when they brought him back in Doctor Strange 2, I was excited. I mean, to be able to see him in the actual cartoon yellow hover chair, like to see him in the brown suit, like to see him do his cool little hand shit, like I was excited. Like I was like, hey, dude, this is cool. Only to get fucking wiped out like everybody else in the Illuminati, like just so fast by Wanda. I was like, fuck, dude, you brought this guy back just for 5 seconds of screen time.
Yeah.
Like, come on, man. But you know what? If they were to bring him back in Deadpool 3 and give him a little bit more time in the yellow chair, like I would be excited just to see him kind of like do stuff in the yellow chair. Like wheel around.
We've been watching Patrick Stewart play this character
Charles Xavier for a long fucking time.
A long fucking time, dude. Like I don't know, man. My excitement level just isn't as
it's not as big.
It's not there as I would like it to be as a fan, to be honest with you.
And that's because like Patrick Stewart.
Did you see Dark Phoenix?
Yeah.
I never watched that movie.
Have you seen it? Did you watch it or no?
I've never watched it.
You should take the chance to watch it. It's
do I have to, bro? Like
no, you definitely don't. But
something
it gives you a good idea on how far it fell.
Patrick Stewart was in that movie, right? Or was that the other Xavier? Wait, no, it was the new one. What's the guy's name? It was a new one, right?
Okay. Yeah, it was the other guy. I forgot his name. But yeah, it was that guy. It wasn't Patrick Stewart. It was McAvoy.
Okay, yeah. I mean, again, we've seen Patrick Stewart in a wheelchair for over like fucking 10, 15 years now, dude.
Yeah, but the thing is
20 probably.
But you just know that the way Ryan Reynolds carries the Deadpool franchise, that he does it right. He does it right. He doesn't give a shit about what the elites want to see or what they need to put in. Like he just does that shit the way the comic book lover wants to see films. Like, so that's 100%. Like right now, one of the number one things that probably everyone is excited for is that, if we get Ryan Reynolds as the guy that's pretty much helping create the film and being in charge, that we're going to get Hugh Jackman in a Wolverine fucking costume. Like we're going to get him in the fucking full on costume. And you like, as a fan of the comic books, you can't say that you're not excited to finally see Wolverine in something that's like comic book accurate. Like something that's a uniform in his comic book accuracy. Like everyone's excited for that. So to be able to get Patrick Stewart in Doctor Strange 2 in the yellow wheelchair comic book accurate, and then we only get him because the director's like, well, we know what you want. We could have given it to you, but here you go. Like it's kind of like shitting on us, because that's the same thing. Like we got that dude as Fantastic Four, Reed Richards, the one that everybody was fucking asking for them to hire as the actual Reed Richards, and they brought him out as this because they're not going to bring him as fucking Reed Richards. And then they bring in Black Bolt, like they fucking shit all over the Inhuman series. But hey, dude, here's Black Bolt in costume that you wanted to see in the show, but we didn't give it to you. And like they know what we want. They just choose not to give it to us.
Is that your gripe with Marvel?
Yeah, that's been my big gripe. Like, that for me, it's one of those things. Like if they can at least stick to something that's comic book, some like accurate, or at least stick closer to the reference, or at least respect the IP. Even if it's like, I guess the weirdest fucking thing that people say is like, but if we stick to the stuff, the source material, you already know what happens. Well, no shit, dude, because you're calling it that. Like that IP's already existed. You're not fucking reinventing the wheel.
All right. So we've talked about this.
We talk about it all the time.
But how about this, Chris? How about what if they know they can't pull some of this shit off? What if they know that they can't pull some of this comic book shit off? So they're probably better off going about it a little bit differently.
Well, I mean, that's
And
the concept.
honestly,
The
and
concept is the
honestly,
multiverse or whatnot. Yeah, I get
and
it.
honestly, as a purist and as a fan of the comic books, you should be kind of happy that they're not trying some of this shit. Because if they fail, then do you think that would sting more than if they just did their own thing in general? Does that make sense? I don't know if that made any sense.
I
Like,
don't. No, no, no. I didn't get that.
all right.
Say that one more time.
So, do you think that, let's say there's a world where some of this stuff that would be comic book accurate, they just can't pull off, and they know
Okay.
that they're not going to be able to pull it off. You as a fan, do you think that you're better off them just
Not trying it, right?
doing
Like, let's
their
say
own
they don't have the
thing
technology, or they don't have the means. They don't have the
or
means
the
to create.
characters
I get that.
established, and, whatever it could be.
That's 100% the Infinity Gauntlet, right? Like, the Infinity Gauntlet story is Thanos is trying to please Lady Death, which there's no way you're gonna pull off a Lady Death character in Marvel, a kid's IP.
There's just no way.
There's no way. There's no way you even send it to China with a chick that's based on death.
And not only that, but there's just so many characters involved in that arc that
they didn't have the rights to them, and it's understandable. Like, that's not a big thing. Like, that I get. But like, what I'm saying is, like, okay, cool. Like, Fox, when they first got the X-Men, like, why didn't they make a prop of the wheelchair to make it look closer to the comic book, like the big yellow chair? Like, okay, I'm just saying, like, they could have made a prop, done some shit, made a green screen on the bottom with wheels, and floated it around. I'm saying there might have been a way, but they chose not to. They chose to make it a regular wheelchair. After all this, so many years, we finally get that. Like, we finally get that. We finally get Charles Xavier in the yellow wheelchair, because what created the X-Men franchise was not just the comic books, but was the 1990 cartoon. Like, the 1990 cartoon, if it wasn't for that, we wouldn't have as many people loving the X-Men. Like, we wouldn't have it. That's 100%. So more people witness Charles Xavier with that yellow wheelchair than anything. Most people look at Wolverine and say, you can't have Wolverine without the yellow and blue costume. When originally he started off with like black and yellow, and then went tan and yellow, and then went back to yellow and blue. So, like, you get all these different iterations, but the 90s cartoon has always been the most popular. Even the Fox movies. Huh?
I'm just saying, I can't argue that. I agree with you on that.
So, like, it's one of those things, like I don't know, like, okay, for them not to go with the idea of trying to get him in a cool hover wheelchair, like whatever it took, but for them to put that one guy in the blue costume to make him look like fucking Beast, Hank McCoy in the original movies, like, you're willing to do that shit to that guy, but you're telling me you can't make a wheel hover chair? Like, come on, man. Like, you could have totally pulled that shit off. If you're going to put that dude, that was Kelsey Grammer. He used to be like in a TV show for lawyers and stuff.
To me, it sounds, and this is just my opinion, it sounds a little nitpicky. But again, I can't, as a person that is loyal to the comics, I can't tell you how to feel about, you know, a detail that you've grown to know and love, and honestly myself too, because I'm a fan of the 90s cartoon as well.
The X-Men cartoon.
So I get it. I do think it's a little nitpicky, but okay. But you can't tell me that when you saw Doctor Strange 2 and you saw him wheel up in the chair and the little music kind of dialed out, that for some reason deep down inside, like, your heart, you got like butterflies, or you got a little excited, like you got like, well, fuck, that's super crazy. Because in that moment, it was a cool moment.
It was
a cool moment. And I think that's the reason why I have the stance that I have now about this, because I got it from Doctor Strange. It was cool to see it. Like I said, that for me, that emotion you got out of me by doing that, I don't know if you're going to be able to
top that,
to duplicate that again. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like it's a little bit less of a surprise now.
So my only complaint with that in that film was how all of those characters got wiped out so fast. I think everybody can relate
And
to
we
me with
talked
that.
about this. We talked about this. I have been on this show. I tried to tell you for months,
That Wanda was gonna fuck
arguing
everybody up.
you that Wanda was gonna tank everyone, and
Yep.
that's what she did. So
Yep.
you should have known that if there were, and I
No, that's
literally
understandable.
said anyone in this movie, everyone in this movie is gonna catch hands. Like she's going to tank them. So
that's understandable. I agree with you. I agree with you because not only that, if you look at Wanda in the comic book, she rails everybody. She's a reality bender. She can fuck everybody up. It's just the way that she just took people out. Like it was almost too fast. You didn't give it time to cook. You didn't give those characters time to like breathe a little bit. We wanted to see them more, but we didn't get that opportunity.
I like the way that they did it because they can't. They're trying to establish that they can't fuck with her. Like no matter who they are, what universe they're from, she's a Nexus being, and she's not really a Nexus being because there's multiple of hers, but she's a powerhouse, dude. And none of them, even Professor X, even Professor Xavier could not fuck with her, bro.
Yeah, so it was just something that I hope that knowing that we're getting Patrick Stewart in conversation for Deadpool 3, that we do get some kind of comeback to finally getting him talking to Ryan Reynolds' Deadpool about joining the X-Men correctly. Like, you know what I mean? Like just all that part. I think being able to watch Hugh Jackman, Ryan Reynolds, and Patrick Stewart all on like a buddy cop film would be really funny to watch. Mm-hmm. But of course, Deadpool 3 is just really exciting to think of. You know that shit's going to be like the wildest shit. And knowing that it's coming on a time when the multiverse is like on a whole new like fuck fest, like, you know, it's probably going to be the craziest story when it comes to Deadpool and the multiverse. That's all I'm saying. Super excited. Be a great thing to see. And it's just so cool knowing that Patrick Stewart's going to be called. Other news that we got, small news, of course, is Fantastic Four. Apparently the director, or the one that was directing, which was the guy that made WandaVision, he was in charge of Fantastic Four, but he recently walked away from it. Apparently he dropped the dates of when the film was going to start filming, and apparently it's going to be early 2024. So this puts us in next year? So we're looking at maybe this being, of course, probably the Fantastic Four releasing maybe before Kang Dynasty, maybe a little bit after it, before Secret Wars. What do you think?
I think you would have to, because
we're looking at 2026 for Secret Wars, if I'm not mistaken.
You would think, I mean, of course, you would think that by the time Secret Wars comes around, there's a Fantastic Four movie. So, I mean, you're gonna have to have them in there, right? So, you're gonna get that movie before.
I keep telling people, like, you cannot have Secret Wars without the three main people,
or even the Kang Dynasty. I don't know if you can have the Kang Dynasty without the Fantastic Four. Honestly,
I think there needs to be some type of cameo from them. Not their own independent IP like being made, but you can have them appear in it.
Especially like if you cameo? Plan on doing, what is it, Ramatut? Yeah, right? Ramatut. If you have him in any form or fashion, you gotta have the Fantastic Four.
Yeah, because they fucking floor his ass. Yeah, they're the ones that stop him in the comics. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think we're gonna get them soon. Plus, they're saying early 2024, so I guess we will probably get that movie 2025 early.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I think we might get, if we get the Fantastic Four being shot in 2024, because as of right now, they still don't have anyone casted.
We may not get this till actually right before
Secret Wars.
Yeah, it may take a while to shoot this.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like,
now that I think about it, this may.
But I'm just saying that because this is the thing: is you need to establish three main characters that are the three main components, and that's the Fantastic Four, Doctor Doom, and the Beyonder. From stuff that we've heard and rumors, is there may be a situation, and anybody in the comment section, you can tell me how you feel about this if you're big on comics. That would be like Mike Betancourt, Georgie, and stuff like that. Apparently, they're thinking that one of the Kangs is going to eventually be the Beyonder. and that he's going to be, and that's apparently that might end up being like this one in this movie, or another one that's already the Beyonder that's in charge of like a bunch of other Kangs or whatever. But apparently they're going to go that route, which I'm a little disappointed with, because Owen Reese and Doctor Doom have a really great story with Doctor Strange and Secret Wars. Like just the whole Beyonders and Owen Reese story as a cosmic cube, like being separated, like that's a really great story. It's really cool and brings just more characters and dynamics to the movies. And like I've said before, Fantastic Four, for whatever it's worth, is going to need its villains. And its villains are very 1930s superheroes, like, oh, here is Ketchup Man, bum bum bum, ketchup on everything, and it's very silly.
I think for that movie, if they were smart, they would keep it as Kang as the villain for that movie. I'm hearing that again. Jonathan Majors is kind of going everywhere saying that Kang is going to be in all of these fucking projects in one way, shape, or form. Until we get to Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars, he is going to be in a lot of fucking movies in a lot of different ways. So I think we got to keep him as the main villain for Fantastic Four.
I don't know, man. I don't know. For the Beyonder, like, Kang is cool, but Kang hadn't been fixed in the last like 10 years in comic books. And, you know, Owen Reese, the Beyonder, Mole Man, like all those characters, they had all been around already. Like there's even comic book stories where the Beyonder tries to come to Earth to study human beings. Like there's a part of me that wants the Fantastic Four series to almost play out like a live action Incredibles movie. Like I want it to be kind of silly. Like I want it to be kind of, I don't know, like there's just something about it. Like, I mean, what else are you going to do with an IP that is known of being the first family of superheroes? Like literally, that's literally like the whole point is like the first family.
Wait, so weren't you the one giving Marvel shit for being too silly in Phase 4?
No, it's not silly. Like it's not that it's being silly, but like, how would you describe The Incredibles?
It's a kid's movie.
Like a Silver Age, right? Like a Silver Age or Golden Age comic book.
Wait, The Incredibles?
The Pixar movie.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't view that anything other than a kid's movie. That's what that is to me. It's a kid's movie.
Because that's very similar to the way that they would kind of handle the Fantastic Four series.
No, it's not. No, it's not. I think that they would be able to pull some sort of seriousness from them. Like, this is the first family. I'm telling you, if they're gonna do like the whole Kang seriousness thing, I don't know how much silly we're gonna get in Phase 5 or Phase 6.
You know, there's a part of me that wants it to kind of feel a little old school with them, because we don't have anything in the Marvel universe that feels like a typical superhero. Like just like a traditional old school, like just hero story. We don't have anything like that. Everything's just super, super crazy. Super crazy. That's all I can kind of recommend. It's just super crazy. There's a part of me that hopes it kind of stays that way, and it's kind of more scientific-y or a little bit more like, I don't know. It's really hard to explain.
I think the closest you'll get is, again, if I don't know what kind of time frame they're planning on making this movie, but I think it's going to be somewhat a serious movie. I don't want to see a kiddie Incredibles version of fucking the Fantastic Four. I don't want to see that shit, bro.
Oh, yeah.
At all.
Apparently, I mean, more than likely, they're probably going to go with like Jonathan Hickman's series of the Fantastic Four. You know, they're probably bringing, of course, the Sun. That's like super reality bending. There's a bunch of stuff that they could do, man. That's super crazy. But I'm not really too excited about them forefronting Kang all over the place.
Why?
I think keeping it at like a 4-person or 5-person variation that they're going to focus on would be good. And then you bring in like a Beyonder, that would be cool. But But the reason why is because, of course, Owen Reese, Doctor Doom himself, his whole story gravitates around the Beyonder. So unless you're gonna have it to where like now Doom has to gravitate around Kang because there's no Beyonder, and you end up giving like the biggest arc of Kang's character or Doom's character to Kang for Secret Wars. Like I've said before, like what do you do with Doom then? That kind of puts me in the fear that he's going to suffer from the curse of what Marvel does to the villains, where that Doom is going to end up coming in one or two times and then they're going to kill him off.
No, because I mean, Doom and Kang are tied very, very tight, and you can go a multitude, like you can go multiple ways to tie them in, or have multiple storylines going on with Kang and Doom. I don't know about that. I think they would be able to pull that off personally.
I don't know. It's just one of those things. Like we have to focus, of course, on.
And you're bringing in the Fantastic Four, so that's already a built-in storyline right there. You add Kang where he's everywhere, they'll be able to. They're good.
My biggest thing is, okay, look, I don't want to reference it, but I know you're gonna hate it.
What?
But when you use other characters' stories to build these characters, you end up getting jumbled later on, right? Like, just hear me out.
Okay, I'm listening.
In Thor: Love and Thunder, they used a giant arc of Gore the God Butcher and the Jane Foster story and the cancer, and they just threw it out there when that could have been built into something way more serious. And now they're pushing into the Valkyrie storyline, which is where Jane Foster then becomes a Valkyrie. Remember, this also has ties to the King in Black.
It does.
So all they're doing, even with the Necro Sword, they oh man, I'm coughing like crazy. Hold on.
It's okay. Listen, I know where you're going, and I'll give you some time because I kind of want to answer to or respond to that. I don't know if you can compare what they were doing with Gore the God Butcher and or the Mighty Thor. I don't know if you can compare that to a character like Doom. Like, that's totally fucking different. Like, these are a couple of characters that are going to be in this movie and they're out. We're talking about a huge villain in the comics that is going to be around for multiple movies, shows. They're going to be heavily tied into what's going on. So I don't know if that's a good comparison, honestly.
Well, I mean, the concept is Gore the God Butcher, the whatever he did throughout the series still has ramifications throughout the entire story of Thor, even to now. And it still continues to have ramifications. The Necro Sword has ramifications on its own because it's part of the King in Black. It killed Celestials. It does all this stuff, and they dumbed it down for this.
But that wasn't established in the movie. Like, if it was established in the movie, I guess I could kind of see where you're going with this, because then they would have to abide by that and stick to that. But they don't. They made it very dumbed down, like you said, and now they don't even have to go back to the Necro Sword if they choose not to. So it's of no importance to the main story of anything, honestly. But if you bring in a character like Doom, you can't really like dumb that down. You're gonna have to. That's a long play right there.
Well, I mean, this can go to anybody. Well, I mean, I would need to, like, I don't know. There's something about it that would be kind of rough to like for me to bring out, because I'm not really all that knowledgeable on Doom. But for me to be a person who says, okay, cool, like, we're going to bring Doom. Doom is an exciting character. What are you going to be the most excited for to see from this character? We've seen already 2 iterations of Doctor Doom come into the Fantastic Four where he just plays the man with the cape, or the ha ha ha, I stole your powers kind of dude. But that's not what builds him as a character. What builds him as a character in the series was what he did in Secret Wars. and that's in part 1 and in part and in the third variation, because there was a second Secret Wars. Those are the ones that mattered most, because he found a way to steal the power from the Beyonder in the first one, and then the Beyonder took it back. But in the Secret Wars second, he literally had a whole way of becoming the god and the savior of the entire multiverse. Like, I don't think in the character development of Doom throughout Marvel history, I don't know if there's been any other time in the comic books that he's had something that big, other than when he got his mom back from hell by screwing over Mephisto. So like,
I don't see, you're still thinking about it as what's the bigger arc to do and what we can do. I'm just letting you know that there is a storyline where he and Kang and the Beyonder were interacting with each other for a while, and I think that's where they're gonna go. If you're gonna say that him and the Beyonder are tied in for whatever arc or whatever storyline, well, I'm telling you that King is supposedly one of the versions of King is going to be the Beyonder. So,
you know, a really good way to put this out there is, do you think Magneto from the X-Men would make a good trilogy villain?
Yeah, 1000%. Do you know why? For the same reason why Doom would. You're saying, yes. All right. So your argument is basically saying that they're gonna basically just give you Doom and not do anything with them, or just throw them away, or whatever. What I'm saying is he has enough storyline with just Kang, not to mention he's not going to run out of things to do, Chris. He's going to have the Fantastic Four to deal with. He's going to have Kang to deal with, the Beyonder, which is a version of Kang. He's going to have plenty to do. I don't. And again, this is with me having very minimal knowledge on Doom as well. So it's like, I at least know that storyline with Kang to know that you can make a movie out of that, or you can make content out of that. I don't have any worries that they're gonna run out of things to do with Dr. Doom.
My biggest thing is I just don't want them to, Doom. It's like I said, comparing him to Magneto is very interesting, because through and through, Doom is bigger than Magneto. Like, he's more of a menacing villain than Magneto. That's through and through. Like, you're looking at a character like Doom. Just the skim of it, but Doom himself can, and it has been written in the comic books, like a Thanos threatening level. Like, he's been written that big. So it's one of those things, like, Doom himself can be like a big baddie in the Marvel universe. But I just don't want them to do what they did to like Gore, or what they've done to the Red Skull. I want them to carry Doom, because the Fantastic Four is going to need those characters to build that franchise.
I don't think you have much to worry about, to be honest with you. I don't see them just using Doom as a throwaway character, because he has so many ties with so many of your future characters that you're going to be introducing. I don't see that.
I mean, there's even, of course, like the Namor storyline, the Black Panther storyline. There's a lot that you can do with him.
And again, we were supposed to get him at the end of Black Panther 2.
Yeah, I still
to tie in with Namor. So if you want, you could. That's another storyline. So it's like there's Doom all over the place, bro.
Yeah, but I just don't want them to do that. I just don't want them to screw over that character. I'm a really big fan. I think everybody's a big fan of Doctor Doom. What? Going on. We don't got a lot of time left. But so I needed to ask you about this, because this is something witty I heard this past week, and I wanted to hear what everybody else had to say. How do you feel about premium seats for AMC's theaters?
I think it's funny. Pay up.
Dude, you're for it?
I mean, I think it's bullshit. I think it's a scam.
That's a big motherfucking scam.
It's a scam. And listen, I don't knock the hustle, man. Like, the funny part was actually looking at like their diagram of what is considered a premium seat, or like a best view seat.
They have that shit?
Yeah, it's like sectioned off. It's like in the gold or the yellow, which is like mostly the middle rows. It's saying like these are the optimum vision seats where it's like the best seat in the house for you to watch the screen. And then they have like the white chairs, which are just like, I don't want to say obscure because there's no obscure views in the fucking movie theater, which is ridiculous.
Unless these bitches are gonna put like fucking palm trees and fucking ferns in the theater now. Can you
I
imagine
don't
that shit?
know,
They purposely
dude.
push
Like,
it away.
I saw it and I saw it on the news and I laughed at it. Like I didn't really think much of it. It is what it is.
I'm gonna raise it.
What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? You're not gonna pay the $2 for a
Fuck
fucking
theaters,
seat,
man.
bro?
I'll tell that motherfucker. I tell those motherfuckers.
So you're not gonna go to the movies because
Nah, man. I don't even go to
$2.
theater, dude. I'm gonna hire a Fire Stick guy, man.
So you're not going to go to the movies because of $2.
Well, okay. So what is it? What is it? The thing that they're changing?
Like, they're charging you $2. They're paying you $2 for premium seats.
I'll tell you what.
That's some cheap. That's some cheap shit right there. Some cheap.
Because they already charged me fucking $12 for popcorn.
So what the fuck is
$5 for waters? So why don't they do this? Watch. How about the seats in the front that you have to look up really high and don't see very good? Why don't they take off $2 for those seats?
I think that's what they're doing. I think it's like it's $2 cheaper. It's like $2 cheaper to sit in those like first two rows.
Good. That's what they should do because those movie sissies suck.
All the white seats are the same. They're the regular price. And then those yellow seats are like $2 more.
And what do they come with? Because there's nothing different about those two chairs. I hadn't been there in the last 20 years.
Talking like a fucking cheapskate, bro. That's what you sound like, bro. Pay the $2, bro.
What are you getting extra other than knowing those chairs have always been
the fucking luxury of going into the fucking movie theater? That's it. They're taxing you, bro. They're taxing you. They're taxing you. That's what I'm telling you what it is. I'm telling you what it is. They're taxing you. Pay the fucking tax. Just knock it off. You're not gonna listen. You're not gonna not go to the movie theaters because of $2, bro. Because of your principles. You're spending fucking $50 in the concession stand for popcorn.
That's fucking horrid. That's horrid. That's horrid. It's horrid for a company that already overcharges for everything that before you step in the door, they already overcharge you. And now they're going to charge you for the same seat you've been sitting in since you were a child. Since we were children, 40 fucking years, that chair, those fucking golden chairs have always been there.
Okay.
Those golden chairs have always been there. In fact, I can go get one right now. Golden.
All right. And they're still going to be there. It's just $2 more now. That's it. You had the luxury of those seats for years, and now they're taxing you on it, bro. I think it's funny. I'm gonna pay the $2, whatever it is, man. Dude, you already got me for $20. Good to see you in the comment section, my brother. Good to see you. Since Century 16, the Alamo Draft House is charging for seats. That may be wanting to do the same for additional fee. They may be wanting to do the same for additional fees. Mike, don't let me know. Don't let me find out you're a cheapskate too, bro. Pay the $2, guys. Or if you want, you can just not pay the extra $2 and just sit in one of the white seats that are like surrounding the yellow seats, and you're fine. You don't have to pay the $2. You can just get the cheap seats. Cheapo. No, it's not even about that, man. It's the principle. I get it. It's the principle. I get it. No, it's the principle. I get it. What is it then? You're not getting anything out of it. Your stand on not paying the additional $2. They're abusing the idea of you having a seat that you've already been sitting in, and now they're like, hey, well, you know what? Like, well, I want to charge you $2 extra now. Mm-hmm. That's not being cheap. Chris, that happens. Chris, that happens. Of the audience. Dude, are you understanding that it happens every day in your life? You're getting taxed. Doesn't make it better. I'm not saying it makes it better. I'm just saying that it's something that happens everywhere you go. There is a price hike and there's a tax on everything that you do. Yes, but I'm saying you're taking a stand on the movie theaters. Right now, as the way it goes, take a stand on eggs. Take a stand on everything else that's been inflating over the past 2 years. Like, it's a tax. Oh, bro. Yeah, of course. Yeah, but that has to deal with supply and demand. This isn't supply and demand. Yes, it is. It's not supply and demand. What do you mean? It's the most purest form of supply and demand. I'm supplying you with this seat to watch this movie in my movie theater. That's a supply and demand. That's about as plain as supply and demand gets.
The same. It's and like I said, it's the same seat that's always been there that I played the regular price. What makes it different now? So John says, at least he gives me an idea and says, "Hey, you know what? Like we pay extra for the reclining seats." Okay, cool. Well, that already gives me the idea because they're trying to add comfort to the $2 seats. What amenities do you get with these seats that make it different from the last time I sat on it? The reclining, we already have those. Do you get an extra beer? Hey, that would be nice. I'll pay the $2. Like, do you get something for it? Is there a premium idea for it? Is there a little fan that sticks out of the thing and makes you cool down? Do you get a warm blanket? Like,
what the fuck is the point in that? Like, listen, I'm not being blind as to what this is. I am aware of what this is. They are taxing you. They're not going to tax you and then give you free shit. That defeats the purpose. The AMC, these movie theaters, Chris, where were they 2 years ago? Where were they 3 years ago? They were in a fucking pandemic where some of them almost didn't make it. So coming out of that, they have to get their money back. Again, I am wide awake as to what this is. This is nothing more than a tax and them trying to recoup some money in a lost business. We have come on this show plenty of times and said that the days of the movie theaters are numbered. They're
I think this is going to make it even worse.
I don't think so. I don't think that the people that are willing to go out, because listen, that this is a luxury. Let's not get this confused. You going to the movies and watching a movie is a luxury. You already know you're going to be spending anywhere between $50 to $100 to go to this experience.
You want to know why?
And if just let me finish. Just let me land for 1 second. If you know that this is a luxury and you're going to be spending whatever you're going to be spending, I don't think the $2 tax is going to deter these people from going to the movie theaters. I don't think so. It may a few, but on the long term, I don't think it's going to deter a lot of people.
Okay. My view on it is the reason why I think it's bad, and it doesn't matter where they were 2 years ago, because 3 years ago, they were already hyperinflating everything in the movie theater in the first place. For years, the movies have been hyperinflating products that they've been selling, and they have been selling seats and ticket prices and popcorn and everything has always been overpriced. And I get it. It's a luxury. But it's a luxury that we all witnessed go to shit during the coronavirus, and they were willing to bend to still make money. So what did they do is they offered films to be sold in your household. You could get it directly to your home. Wait, got to hear me out. I heard you're out. And now here we are 2 years after the pandemic. Movies went back to normal. Everybody opened up. People went right back to the theaters to enjoy themselves, try to give them that movie experience. Everybody suffered too. And here we are 2 years later, everybody's finally getting a grip back on life. And what does movie theater do? Hey guys, we're still back at normal price. All our popcorn is still the same price as it was when we were hyperinflating it before the coronavirus. But now I got something even better for you. Now you're going to pay $2 extra for these 4 extra chairs that are put in this part. Mm-hmm. Before the coronavirus, they were still making a fuckload of money because they were hyperinflating everything. And we were paying it because it was a luxury. Was it right? No. But they were making a fuckload of money off of us because we're just letting it happen. We just got done 2 years ago resetting everything. We literally got the power back in our hand as a consumer. Businesses that are bigger, conglomerate businesses, multi-million-dollar companies, were folding to make that money from us. People were holding off on spending. And those companies were like, hey, you know what? Like, I'll tell you what, if you get a loan with us or if you buy this TV, you don't have to pay anything up front. I could do it for everybody, which means the company had that much luxury and they had that much pillow to be able to give people better prices. But of course, the idea of, no shitting on it, capitalism and people making money, people have found ways before the coronavirus to make a fuckload of cash. And nowadays, right now, the consumer is the person with the money in their hand. Right now, the buyer is the person that's making money.
Okay, I get it. I understand. Let me ask you a question.
Shoot.
All right. Do you have a Disney Plus account?
Yes.
Do you have a Netflix account?
Yes.
What happens every year or every 2 years or every 2 years?
They try to raise the price.
And you pay, right?
Yeah, if you want to keep the service. But right now, I'm
considering... No. Hold on. Let me finish. Just yes, right? You do. You pay it, right? But wasn't the same content on there yesterday?
No.
Wasn't the same? Yes, it was. The same.
No, they
So
just added Astro Boy to Netflix.
From one day.
You know how long I've been waiting for Astro Boy?
It's the same shit. It's the same content. It's the same content that you paid for 1 week as opposed to the next week, but you're paying it at a higher price point. It's the same thing. You're paying at a higher price point for the same fucking shit that you had access to for cheaper a week ago. It's your same argument. And you pay it. You don't bitch about it. You just pay it. So what makes a difference between Netflix and AMC?
Like in the sense of what? You're talking about comparing what does a theater give me that's my streaming service? The streaming service, I have variety. And I have the opportunity to put in several different TVs in my house.
That's fine. But you still had that same access a month ago when it was $1 cheaper.
Yeah.
You were still able to, you gained nothing. You got no new features. You got nothing new.
Oh, I get what you're saying. Like what do you change from the service itself?
You got the same service with the same content that you had the month before for $1 cheaper, but now they're telling you that they're raising it $1 more and you're paying it happily.
Okay.
What's the difference between that and AMC?
That the streaming service isn't at full price already. Like it's only like $7, $8. They're not charging me $15. Like at the very beginning.
It doesn't make a difference though.
It does because the movie theaters are charging high.
No. What we're talking about is a $2 add-on and then a $1 add-on from Netflix. It's only $1. It's only $1 difference. No matter if you're paying $7 for Disney Plus or you're paying $7 for fucking Netflix, it's still $1. It's $1 hike, and AMC is only asking you for $2, so it's only $1 difference. So tell me I understand what you're saying. I don't see your point here.
I understand what you're saying. Yeah, for me, it's just one of those things. Like, I don't feel like we're getting anything out of that. I think that the companies themselves are just abusing the power that they have because people are just willing to pay that. And I understand $2 is $2. It ain't anything. But when you slam it on to the entire amount that you pay just to get, some type of refreshment, a seat to watch a film, and by the time you're done, most Americans have already spent a third of their paycheck.
You actually even get more if you think about it for your price increase or for your tax from AMC than you would from a Netflix. You get nothing from Netflix. You get nothing. You get a promise of the same shitty content that they've been giving you for the last fucking however many years. They may come out with 1 or 2 shows that may catch, and then that's it. But for the most part, you don't get shit from the fucking Netflix.
Well, I mean, let me ask you then, like, what is the next, if that's the case? Because in this
I'm just saying, keep that same energy, Chris. I think that's what I just wanted. That's why I just want to say, like, if you're gonna have this stance on AMC, have the same stance with Netflix, have the same stance with Disney Plus when they hike up your price.
Well, I was gonna give you an idea. So let's say, okay, for Netflix charging an extra $1 or $2, you've been noticing, and we've been noticing that Netflix has been kicking up the production of their own original series. So Netflix itself as a company is trying to produce or cause production into creating more content with its own IP, not just picking up movies that have already been out there, but new stuff. That's on the build of, like, Stranger Things being one of the biggest IPs coming out of that thing. And it's exciting. It makes money. It's doing its business. The thing is the theater is not doing anything with this. There's nothing that's coming with it. They're just charging extra. I know.
If I shoot the ball from the foul line 1,000 times, I'm gonna hit a few. I'm gonna catch a couple. If all I'm doing is sitting here just taking shots, I'm gonna hit a few. And that's what Netflix is doing. That's what you're paying for. That's what you're paying for, that additional $1 every 2 years, and they happen all the time. This is the first time AMC is like, yo, throw us $2, bro, for these seats. Hold us down. We just came out of a fucking pandemic. You're not getting shit from Netflix, and you're giving them $1 every other fucking year. Hold us down. So again, I don't think much of it because I know what this is. It's a tax, and honestly, we're lucky they didn't do this shit earlier.
What? What do you mean we're lucky? I mean, it's they would have done it eventually. There's no lucky about it. It's just
Again,
when they're gonna pull the trigger and just charge you more for nothing
they
that you're getting.
they were filing for bankruptcy. They were almost about to shut down. So you're lucky that when they didn't start opening theaters back up, they weren't charging you from the rip $2 to sit in their seats. You're lucky that it's gone this. You're lucky that it's gone this far to where they're like, all right, bro, we're finally getting back on our feet. Toss us $2 for these seats. If not, you can still sit. You can still sit around there, or you could sit in a seat right under it, and we'll give you $2 to sit there.
Well, like I said, I'm just wondering what they're gonna do to like make it hinder the visuals for the cheap seats. That's what I'm wondering. Can you imagine? I'm telling you, man. Can you imagine they just put up screens or they fucking put up some random shit in front of you so you don't get to see that shit? Airlines charge more different seats. Why shouldn't movies? Yeah, they have first class and second class, right? Or economies and airlines, or what's that shit called?
And that's my only point. This is to your point. You made the point of it being supply and demand, but this is as supply and demand as it gets. Like, this is exactly what the fuck it is. Supply and demand.
Well, I mean, even with this, look, I mean, because again, someone gave an explanation. George says airlines charge more for different seats. Why shouldn't it be for the movies? Now, is that different? Is that different prices if you're in economy, or is that different prices from first class to economy?
It's everywhere. That's what another point of my
no,
my
I'm asking that. I'm asking.
No,
I'm asking.
You're asking a question that everybody knows. Yes, there's a difference between economy and business and first class and all that shit.
No. But is there? What I'm asking is, in economy, do they charge different prices for the seats in economy also, like in itself?
Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, because that's what I'm asking, because then that would make sense to this. Because at least in first class, you get a bunch of extra shit.
Okay, so there is. So again, it's and I think to my point is, it's everywhere that you look. It's everywhere. It's in your grocery store. It's in your airplanes. It's in your hotels. It's in everything you do. And there's price jumps everywhere you turn around. This is not new. Like,
the only thing that I was asking was, will there be a set of amenities that you get going with these premium seats? Or is it just like, hey, no, you're just going to be able to see better? And it's like, oh, fuck. Bro.
From what I know,
the only thing I've heard is that
it's just that you can see better. That's it. Yeah. Which is full of shit. But they got to say something in order for you to pay the $2. Again, I'm not unaware of what this is. I'm totally fine with it. I'll pay the $2, dude. If you guys want $2 that bad, bro, here. You can have it, bro. I'm already spending $75 on this date. I'm already paying for $75 on this date where we can have to share a fucking Slurpee and a bag of popcorn, bro. So it's like, whatever. Take the $2.
Yeah, I just feel like
it sucks.
I don't know, man. I know it just sucks. Yeah, it just sucks.
I get it.
Onwards.
Yes,
that was a dedicated conversation, wasn't it?
Honestly,
AMC got us, man.
Honestly, didn't think we were going to spend that much time on that, but I'm actually glad we did. That was good, yo.
Man, we don't got any time. It's already 11 o'clock, and I don't want to keep you up any longer. But I have to ask you. It's the last thing I want to ask you. Let us do it real quick. Talk to me about The Last of Us episode 4 recap. Tell me what you thought. You're the man in charge of this. I know you played the game. You got this more than I do. Me on the outside, I enjoyed it. I thought it was cool, very good video game.
So that's what I wanted, yo. I want to know your thoughts on this episode. All right,
it was fun.
Hold on. Piggybacking or coming off of episode 3, which has been unanimously well received, you would say, right? Yep. Coming off of episode 3, how do you think episode 4 fared? Like, how do you think it stood up on its own?
I think episode 3 was very masterful. I think it was like they literally, those motherfuckers took the time in the writing room to make it like something really special.
Yeah.
I think this takes us back a little bit. Like, it kind of pulls back a notch. It's not written as crazy serious. It's not trying to pull at the heartstrings or anything, but I kind of feel like it was what we needed, because we got that entire episode away from Ellie and Joel, that we got a full ass episode of both of them growing together, getting used to each other, understanding each other, Joel being a little bit more open, friendly, and kind. And then them seeing some type of action and showing us what the world is like outside, them dealing with some type of violence, and then showing us the how violent it's going to look in the series in this series itself, because this one actually gave us like an interesting fight scene, gave us like an interesting way that it goes to the city, some of the tactics that are used. So it was good overall. I thought it was a great episode. I saw that a lot of people are giving it like close to an 8. I still kind of consider it up there a little bit higher, because comparing it to like The Walking Dead and other zombie stories like this one, I kind of feel like it has the detail at following the right parts of the story. Ellie's interaction with Joel, Ellie's just the way the character or the actress kind of, or the actor or whatever she claims to be, or the person claims to be, the way that they handle the character's role, the way that they handle the emotion, the way that they handle stuff, I thought was very, very on the dot. I loved everything. And it's really cool, like seeing Pedro Pascal come out and act like this hero as he usually pulls off. But knowing that he's more of like a gentleman, an older age guy, like he kind of like shows that his age is a thing that kind of like slows him down a little bit. You're expecting him to be like this hero, but
how do you think Pedro Pascal is doing in this show so far?
What do you mean?
Acting wise.
Oh, he's doing great. I think he's doing good.
Okay.
The character himself, Joel, like from what I remember in the game, like he's not like a big like acting part. He's very stern, very stoic, very straightforward and direct. So Pedro Pascal's doing pretty good, establishing, showing emotion and doing all that stuff. Like he's selling it. He's selling the role really well. So I think he's doing a fantastic job as Joel.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I think it's a treat what Pedro Pascal is doing, and not only him, not only he, but everyone in the show is doing a really, really good job. I can't think of a weak point in the show yet. It's written great. It's got phenomenal acting. The set designers, the visual effects, everything's spot on point. Man. Yeah, it's been on point. I don't want to like bore you guys with like parts of the game, but just this episode is literally taken straight out of the game, word for word, scene for scene. It's really good. And yeah, everyone's doing a great job, and I don't know if I was expecting this episode to try to keep up with episode 3, which I don't think any episode would have been able to do.
Yeah, anyway. I think episode 3 was the highlight of this season.
So I think they did a good job, not even trying to top it, just going on with the story. We got introduced to 2 fan favorite characters, Sam and Henry, which I really didn't care for in the game, to be honest with you, because they weren't really that integral. Like they were there and they were a part of the story, but there really wasn't any significance put on their existence in the game other than they were just with you for a little bit. So I'm very interested to see how they flush those 2 characters out. I think there is some opportunity to do some interesting things with them, which I'm looking forward to. And yeah, I think they're doing a great job so far. What would you grade the show so far, 4 episodes in?
I mean, I think it's fantastic. I think it's going to be like up there like a 9, like 8.5 to 9 through and through. I think it's just, I mean, for what it's worth, I think the only thing that I've seen a little bit that I'm kind of like, is sometimes the CG can look a little bit too fake, like the background imagery, which would be like in the background, like some of the buildings, or when they do like a cityscape and it looks very video game-ish CG. Yeah. But then I take into consideration, hey, well, you know what? Like this is a streaming service. They don't have the big budget of a huge film to put money into the CG. They're using Blender. They're using Unreal Engine to kind of create that background. I think the other day, I think episode 3, they're walking, and do you see like on the hill next to them, there's like a plane? Oh, and it was this one, right? When they're talking about the airplane.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
at least you got to fly in one or
Yeah.
whatnot. That plane looks very corny. There's something about it, like the graphic itself kind of looked like not real. It looked like a video game piece or like a weird background, like painting or some shit. So like that kind of like threw me off for like a couple of seconds, and then I came back and was like, okay, I'm okay with it. So I'm not really being too critical on the CG or anything like that. I think there's a little bit of it that it kind of gets silly, but other than that, it's just all the nitpicking is overshadowed by how good everything else is.
Yeah.
Like everything else. Like,
I agree.
That's really what it is I think overall it's a great show. From what I've heard, I heard that it's going pretty fast though in the story. Is it?
Well, there's only 9 episodes. We're number 5 just hit today, so we only have 4 episodes left, and they're gonna. And
but
we
does
know
it look
that,
like it's going the same speed as the game?
Yeah, no, it does.
Shit.
Maybe just a tad slower because episode 3 isn't in the game, but
Okay.
for the most part, this is spot on. Like the Henry and Sam thing happens relatively early in the game.
But what I'm asking is, like, by episode 9, do you think that kind of follows the entire Last of Us Part 1? Or do you think it'll be broken up like the game 1 is 2 seasons long?
From what I know, this
It's just 1 season, right?
It's just, I mean, they're greenlit for a second season, but this first season will be the entirety of the first game.
Man,
so we'll get.
I kind of feel like they had the
of
potential to
game.
stretch it out 2 seasons, man.
But I don't think they thought that far
True.
in advance. Like, what if it was a failure?
Yeah,
you don't want to be forced to do another season, and you be up shit's creek. So I think they did the right thing, and because you got to think, like, I don't think Pedro Pascal is a cheap. Like
no, he's not a cheap back. Dude's fucking Star Wars material, man.
Yeah, you're paying a lot for him.
Yeah, you're paying a lot
So
for
like
that guy.
you're probably gonna and it's only gonna get higher, dude. So it's like you kind of probably only want to have him for 2 seasons and then call it a day because he's gonna cost you too much.
Yeah. Really excited where the show's going. I thought it's great. Can't wait to watch the new episode tonight. So yeah, really excited. Really high marks on the show. Everybody out in the comment section, let us know what you guys think about Last of Us this season, and what do you think about this last episode? Did it follow very well from episode 3, or did it fall short and you weren't really excited about it? Let us know in the comment section. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it.
Yeah,
you know what's interesting? I want to say I apologize to one of the fans earlier this week. Someone that was watching the show hit me up and was like, "Hey man, you guys should have a conversation about the old school Christopher Reeve Superman."
Why is that?
And he was like, "You guys should go back and watch it just to see like how out of this world like his power set was." Because I don't know if you remember, like, all
it was
old
OP.
school, yeah, he was super OP. I was like, and I was like, you know what? Like, that would be
spun the world. He reversed time, bro.
Yeah. And then he threw a shield and he uses it like a fucking catches people with it and shit. He had a bunch of silly powers, man. He was like, you guys should totally talk about it. Like, totally talk about how OP those characters were and compare it to like the new age stuff and all this stuff. And I was like,
dude,
hey, you know
that's the superheroes that I grew up on. It's like those Christopher Reeves Superman were fucking OP, and all of his villains were OP, and it was it just kept getting more
silly,
grand, and more silly. And I think by Superman 3, I think it's just the wheels started coming off. But yeah, the first 2 were dope.
Should totally go back and do a rewatch of them and come back and just destroy them.
I'm down. But honestly, I can only do 1 or 2. Yeah,
1 or 2. Going and watching all of them would be real hard.
That's rough. Yeah, that's gonna be a little bit rough for me.
But yeah, I gotta give an apology to that guy. I don't remember his name off the top of my head, but he had hit me up earlier in the week and was like, "Hey man, you guys should do a discussion on it." And I was like, "Cool." So we're gonna do our homework, and we'll probably end up watching part 1 and part 2. I'll try to watch part 3, so that way I can catch you guys up on it if you guys haven't seen it. And yeah, it's gonna get real crazy. We'll do a discussion about it. We'll just talk about it. We'll see.
That's cool.
Yeah, that'll be fun. I think it'll be cool. It'll be good to go back and see Christopher Reeves again.
You know what, bro? I want to just take this time and just say thanks, dude. Like, I love coming on here and having like these debates and these conversations with you, bro. Because Like, this is literally what I look forward to.
Me
So
too.
thank you for having me on, bro. Like, I know it may seem like, you know, we're fucking like heating and shit, but no, man, this is what I like to do, man. I like to just like have these type of conversations and see what, you know, not just you, but what the people in the comments think. Like, this shit is fun for me. Like, this is dope.
I enjoy the shit out of it. I really, really do.
So thank you, Chris. Thank you, everyone in the comments. Thanks everybody for tuning in. This is a good time for me, man.
Brian, thank you so much too, man, for being my homie.
Of course, man.
For being my homie, for being my G. Hey, you know what's super crazy? We never heard anything about Andrew Tate. That guy fell off.
So what does that mean? What does that mean that we haven't heard anything since?
I don't know.
Since the last time
it's crazy, isn't it? Well, no one's talking about it.
You still don't believe it, right? You still think it's a hoax? You think it's like a witch hunt, right?
I don't know, man. I don't even know what to consider anymore. From the last thing that I heard, because I don't even like. It doesn't even pop up on my YouTube channel anymore. Beforehand, like when I would mention it, it would just pop. Yeah, top Cobra or whatever they fucking call them, top rattlesnake or whatever. There would always be someone talking about it or someone covering it or whatever. The last thing I heard was the two girls like came out and were like, "Yo, we didn't even say that."
I did see that. I saw where,
was crazy, right?
And honestly, since I was shitting on him, I think that is something to say, even though I don't know how much weight it holds.
Yeah.
That 2 out of the however many said that nothing like that happened. I don't know these 2 girls. I don't know how close they were to him or what kind of loyalty they may have to the 2 of them, the 2 brothers. So I don't know, but I think we should highlight it that 2 people that were involved with
those were the 2 girls that the police were saying made the
but there's been multiple though. There wasn't just those 2.
No, there was several.
Exactly.
There were several.
So
these were the 2 that they were using their interview or their statement to hold them in contempt.
Yeah,
that's what they've been holding them on.
Again, I will acknowledge it that they said.
I don't know how Romania works.
I don't know how much credit I give to them, but whatever, yo. It is whatever, man.
But not only that, I mean, we don't know how Romania works. That's why I keep telling people, like, we don't know what they fucking do. Like, we don't know like what they're capable of with their laws and stuff like that. So from the arguments that people have said online before, this is before like when things would come out, was that they're not under arrest. They're just being held until they get everything in thing. And I'm like, nah, bro, they're under arrest. They're in jail. Like, they're under arrest. You can't tell me they're not under arrest.
Well, no, they're telling you exactly what it is. Don't fuck around and get caught in Romania, dumbass. How about that? Like, how about you not get caught in the one place that can just do what? Yeah, that you're wanted, A, and B, when if they do catch you, they can basically do whatever the fuck they want
with you.
So yeah, why don't we try not getting caught in the one fucking country that you probably don't want to get caught in?
Yeah, that's true. That's very fucking true. And that was something that popped into my head the other day, and I was like, man, dude, I haven't heard anything about this fucking guy. Like, just radio fucking silence from everybody. But wild shit. But Brian, I got to say thank you so much, dude, for jumping on. I know that you're always a busy guy, and sometimes you get caught doing crazy stuff. So I'm glad you were able to make it. I was kind of worried because I hadn't heard from you like all week, and Robert's been pretty quiet.
Yo, that's how I am, bro. Like, I just pop up, dude. Like, fuck it, you know. I always watch though. Like, I might not like chat in our comments with Rob and all that stuff, but I'm always watching. I'm always
excellent, man. But thank you so much, guys, in the comment section, and ladies, guys, thank you so much for tuning in to all our extraordinary listeners. We appreciate every one of you. I want to let you know that we appreciate you guys tremendously for jumping in, having a conversation, and taking us into the craziest parts of the conversation that we wouldn't get to without you. We appreciate every one of you. 2023 is looking pretty badass, guys. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. Remember to tell friends, tell everybody, jump on the comments or jump into the conversation. We'll be putting up highlight videos up soon because we just got a really cool addition to this program that we use. We're going to get to do some reels and shorts. I'm super excited to get to mess with some new things, and I hope you guys are all doing good, staying safe, and being healthy. I want to say thank you very much, and we hope to see you guys here next Friday here on the Average Boys podcast with us. We'll see you guys again here next Friday. Have a good week. Stay good. Be classy. Laters.
Peace.